A new wave has formed for Season 2, an epic tour that ends with a new legacy. The OGs are back, ready to defend their legacy, while fresh meat joins the competition, eager to make their mark. Who is willing to battle door-to-door and conquer 2024? Buckle up, because the season of a lifetime is among us.
Here we go. Who's going to get the better restart?
Look at all this action as we come on lap 100.
What's that one? Gonna go around. This could be the big one.
Hey, 4-1! 4-1 in Texas! Cosmo's back! There's another bump. There's another hit. Cox into Miranda. Tate's gonna
NASCAR's backyard racetrack, Charlotte Motor Speedway, has long been host to races where we honor and acknowledge the sacrifices made by our servicemen and women. Tonight, we take a page out of that book and honor our veterans for the Team Conti Racing Setups 400 at Charlotte. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Concord, North Carolina. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. I've got Scott Shive alongside, and we join you this evening from Charlotte Motor Speedway for coverage of the Sim Wrap Market Series and No Limit Racing. It's a pleasure to join you for coverage this evening. Coverage, of course, brought to you by Sim Wrap Market, by No Limit Racing, all series partners, and today's presenting partner, Team Conti Racing Setups. This is race 5 now of 18 this season, and Scott, it is a good day to be at the virtual racetrack. The skies are clear, of course, no threat of rain in the sim or anything like that. We're set to go for 200 laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in what's going to be a very, very fun affair.
Set to go here, like you said, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The backyard, this 1.5 mile oval, 4 corners. Obviously, in this track layout, we're not running the road course today, just the regular oval. Opened in 1960. Pit road speed is 45 miles per hour, and we know about this track. This provides great racing all the time in the real world and in the sim, and these drivers have been excited about this race. It's our second mile and a half. Obviously, we were at Las Vegas last week, and this race was going to be 260 laps. Has been lowered to 200, so not the 600 miles that we normally go, maybe in the real life Coke 600, but 200 laps to make there today.
It's still a long, long race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 200 laps is a very long time for these guys to get their jobs done. Let's take a look at the point standings coming into this evening. Of course, things change, and change a lot in this series. That's the one thing we've learned so far with these points is everything tends to jump around a lot after one of these races. And you see Zach Millett and Nathan Paris are the only two constants. They stay atop the point standings. Millett increasing his lead by 60 points to 160. And getting that second win of the season at Las Vegas a week ago, jumping up even further ahead of everybody else. Sean Boundy moves into third. He was on the podium last week. Matthew Taylor jumps into fourth. Daniel Wiles jumps into fifth, and so on and so forth, down through the top 12 now of drivers that would currently qualify for the playoffs this season. And that cut line is 1 point apart.
Yeah, that cut line, really close battle, especially back in that mid-pack. I mean, if you look all the way from Andon Mendenhall in 8th to Holden McGill, who is in 16th right now, there's just over 25 points between all of those drivers right there. And Holden McGill didn't run last week. He's now below the cut line. You'll see Jeremy Brown over there in 7th. He almost won the race last week when he was turned by Mark Martinek. He drops 3 points. And Spencer Ray, he was in the top 9. He didn't race last week, and now he is out of even the top 24.
Got to make all these races or things will change. Now, I believe actually, I don't know. There might be a drop week. I'll say I don't know because I actually don't know. There might be a drop week here. That might be what these guys are relying on, is being able to use that one drop and come back into the point standings. Time will tell on that front. I think that answer will be given to us pretty quickly. Just by us not knowing, somebody's going to hear that, probably let us know very quickly. So I dare say we'll find out pretty soon. But this is a look at the standings coming into race 5 then of the season regardless. And I think some other highlights are Ian Brasfield, Ryan Dingler, Brian Wirtz, Holden McGill, Christian Light, Russell Black, Jared Wishon. A lot of really good drivers that we've seen in the top 10 in these races lined up right behind that cut line. A lot of them this evening. Even Joseph Tucker, I would say even Adam Benefield, especially one of the higher drivers in this series, lined up right behind this cut line, ready to push on through and get into the top 12. But there's only those 12 spots, and they go quick.
Yeah, it is really tight. You know, we have 43 drivers in each race, but there are even more drivers in this league than that. And so it's trying to make this field. Some drivers miss it because of, qualifying, others in the past 25 points, and others for other reasons. But like you said, those guys in 13th through 24th, I mean, they are some heavy hitters here tonight and throughout this series, as we'll see. Qualifying has commenced. Currently, Brandon Frohnapple is on the provisional pole with a 29.9. He was fastest in practice, and right now, currently fastest in our qualifying. He's moving here with 75 of Nathan Paris from Panto Racing.
Watching the 75 round turns 3 and 4 here in qualifying conditions, and down to the start finish line we'll go with car 75. The 29.881. That's not good. Actually, that is good enough for pole. An 8.62 it finalizes to an 8.62. That's a big lap from Nathan Paris, and I think that shows why he's second in the standings.
Big lap from Noah Rainwater. We haven't seen him, I believe, since Bristol. He might have been at Coda, but Noah Rainwater, I don't think he was in the show last week. Second, currently right now, looking along with the 89 of Brassfield. Right now, that best lap was a 29. He's up there within the top 10. Now, Kevin West. Beautiful throwback, like you said, Andrew, in that 01 car.
Yeah, I really like what Kevin West has going on. I also like what Joseph Tucker's got going on here with the 39 car. That is a star-spangled machine, if I've ever seen one. As he works,
America, I don't know what does.
Yeah, as he works down the back straightaway into turn number 3 on his money lap. Actually, this is a lap after, so he's actually run his money lap, and it puts him P6 so far. Let's check in with some of the drivers who are just beginning their qualifying runs. Dalton Tucker in a paint scheme that I know that you like. That 21 looks sharp.
I do. I think it's funny. Some of these drivers keep the same paint scheme through every race we've gone so far, and I think Dalton Tucker is not one of those guys. I think he's had a different paint scheme in every single race that we have run here so far, now with his 5th on the board here, and the 21 of Dalton Tucker going for his first lap here, and we're going to see how it is. Rounding through turn 1 and 2, near that bottom, posted up near the middle, down the back straightaway, into 3 and 4.
Got to get all the way out to the wall down the backstretch and then try and fight down to the bottom in 3 and 4. He opts to run the middle to high lane here through 3 and 4 on lap 1, and that's going to get him a better run off the corner and to the start-finish line. I'm curious if he's going to end up going to the bottom in 3 and 4 or not, or if he's going to try and run higher up the racetrack. But lap 1, 31.02, 30.102, I should say. Right back up to the wall. The second lap, is he going to fight it all the way down to the bottom? The answer is yes, all the way down to that blue and white line. Wrap around the bottom and try to exit with a clean line to the start-finish line. What's it going to be for car 21 in qualifying? Millet, top of the board at 29.817. Tucker will be overshadowed by Millet's lap. Otherwise, Tucker would have gone for pole on 8.25 for car 21.
You see it right there. He had to do something different from that first lap. That first lap was 0.3 off his second. So that's second in the boards right now for that 21 car. 07 of Jeremy Brown right now with a 31.0. So not the best lap for him. Running the middle here on his second lap out of turn 4. Remember, the 07 of Jeremy Brown almost won last week but was wrecked going into the last lap. I don't think he's going to improve here. He is going to improve there to a 30.6, but not exactly what the 07 would have wanted here out of qualifying.
No, and problems for the 07 as well. He'll have to serve a penalty when the race starts. He will actually have to serve a drive-through penalty following last week at Las Vegas. So he will have to start from just about the rear of the field and have to drive through the pit lane here pretty early in the race to get his day started. Let's take a look at the Whiplash SimCam's race details to get the evening rolling. It's a 200-lap race, 6 change sets in the pit lane, 65% fuel, fixed setups, no fast fix available, and up to 3 green-white checkers should we need them. Zach Millet, oh man, well, once again, he's going to lead us to the green flag in car 31. He has got this series over, just absolutely covered. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what he's doing that the rest of these guys aren't, but he has got this series covered right now. Let's take a look at the full CC's Business starting grid with Zach Millet out front. Dalton Tucker from the second spot. What a stacked front few drivers. Zach Millet, Dalton Tucker, Nathan Paris, Noah Rainwater from 4th spot, then Brandon Frohnapple from 5th, Ian Brassfield from 6th, finally Matthew Montgomery from 7th place, and Kevin West from the 8th position. And to complete your top 10, even a couple more strong drivers, Joseph Tucker, Edward Jurgen.
Good to see Edward Jurgen there up in the top 10. Then in 11th, we'll have the 3 of Daniel Wiles. On his outside will be that 61 of Spencer Ray. Matt Cherry and Gary Bowman line up 13th and 14th. And in Mendenhall currently sits down in the 8th position in the championship. He sits 15th on the grid. That 16th car in the lineup is the 2 of Quentin Lee. Then in 17th, that's Sean Bounty in the 34 car. Matt Lovitz in that 41 lines up 18th, and Matthew Taylor and Dylan Cardenas round out the top 20.
Starting from 21st this evening, it'll be car 27. That's Jared Wishon on the inside of row number 11. Michael Wolf will start to his outside over his shoulder. Starting 23rd, it'll be Alfie Sharon Jr., Austin McColgan from 24th spot. And starting 25th and 26th, how about Austin Wheeler and Michael Matta in the 88. Starting 27th this evening in car number 6, very much the center of controversy last week at Las Vegas, Mark Martinek in the 6th. He rolls off 27th. Russell Black rolls off 28th. Christian Light, Christopher Cash make up the top 30.
Well, then back there in 31st, that's Brian Ruisi in the 50 car. Then the 58 of Richard Lanning is in 32nd. In that 24 car, that's Sean Ludison, 33rd. 34th will be the 07 of Jeremy Brown, right, like you said, having to serve that penalty, drive through under green when we get the green flag. In 35th is the 83 of Adam Benefill. In the 36th position, that's 20 of Colin Terrell. Michael Moultrie, Cody Ellis, and Casey Knighton round out this 39 car field.
39 cars this evening. You saw the mishap there with cars getting rolling. Some drivers fired a little bit early, I think not realizing the cars right ahead of them hadn't rolled off the grid just yet. So problems there for sure. Hopefully everybody gets away with no damage, but down the back straightaway, we're going to let these guys roll off of turn number 4 and get this race started. Actually, pace car lights are on, so we may take an extra lap here. I think race control might have seen what was going on the front stretch and decided to give these guys an extra lap before going racing. I haven't seen pace car lights on like that before on a pace lap, so I think we're going to get an extra lap here before we go racing.
Yeah, we are. Race control extended the caution by 1 lap just to give these drivers a little bit of time to clear on up. But look along Zach Millett right there on the front row. Like you said, I mean, he has really figured it out here for the Sim Wrap Market Series Season 2 with No Limit Racing. I mean, 2 wins on the season, a 2nd place, and the only place that he really fell through, I believe it was Bristol. No, he won Bristol. It was Daytona. He got wrecked there. But, I mean, absolute dominance from Zach Millett. The real question is, can Nathan Paris or any of these guys, Sean Bounty, Matthew Taylor, Daniel Wiles, Clinton Lee, all these guys up near the top of the points, can they find anything here with 7 races to go before the playoffs?
You say 7 races to go. That's crunch time in the NASCAR Cup Series. It happens that quickly. We're already into the mid-season and crunch time for these guys. We're almost closer to the playoffs than the start of the season. I know that's crazy to imagine, but give it a couple more weeks and we'll be there. As we break into December, I think we should be at that point. So as we work deeper into this season, it's all happening very quickly and very much in a hurry. Let's take a look at the schedule this season. We haven't done that yet this evening. Charlotte checks in at race number 5. Iowa is next week. We'll talk more on that later on. Atlanta checks in for race number 7, then New Hampshire and Indianapolis complete the balance of races in 2024. Darlington kicks off the balance of races in 2025. Then we head to Pocono and Richmond before we cap off the regular season and begin those ever so coveted playoffs. That all in mind, it's time for Zach Millett to roll off of the green flag and get this race started. The Team Conti Racing Setups 400 at Charlotte Motor Speedway into the Geico restart zone for the first time this evening. We are green flag from Charlotte. Down the backstretch, first battle for the race is going to be the 05 on the inside, the 89 on the outside. That's Rainwater and Brasfield side by side into turns 3 and 4.
Great restart from those top 3, Zach Millett, Dalton Tucker, and Nathan Paris. But right now, Noah Rainwater trying to get a good start, but right now, Brasfield doesn't want to give it up. He can gain the most positions on restarts and starts like these, so Brasfield is trying to take everything he can here. Right now on the outside of Rainwater, and right behind him, that's Brandon Fronapple.
Brown Apple moving around a little bit, everybody jostling for position. Sean Bounty gets put 3 wide into turn number 3 here. They sort that out quickly. 1 car backed out. That was nice of them. That's be Matt Cherry now on the inside of Bounty, and in Mendenhall right behind. Spencer Ray just ahead in the 12th spot. There's some 3 wide off of the corner further back here. They sort that out. 1 car slow on the inside. That's the 99 of Alfie Sharon Jr. Mark Martinek is going to pass up that 99 Chevrolet Camaro and go on by. That'll be for position 24, it looks like. Thereabouts.
99 car had a real issue there, was real slow off of turn 4. Looking long here with Zach Millett again. He's got a 4/10 of the lead to Dalton Tucker, but right here, Noah Rainwater under attack now from Brandon Frohnapple on the outside.
Frohnapple tries to go by, won't be able to do it just yet. He'll try again down here in 1 and 2. Brasfield, though, goes by the Panto Racing 75 of Nathan Paris, and Rainwater pushes up in the corner that time in 1 and 2. That allows Frohnapple to get position on him, and he will lead that battle down the back straightaway into turn 3. Frohnapple with the advantage for 5th. Up the racetrack, Brasfield and Paris.
Frohnapple blocked in there from the back. Paris a little bit scuffs the wall there. Almost 3 wide here. 39, Joseph Tucker has a great run here. Will he dive down low? No, Frohnapple's going to block it.
Paris headed the wrong direction early. Joseph Tucker's going to pass him up. Kevin West now looks on in that 0-1 car, honoring Mark Martin and our veterans here in the United States of America. A beautiful number 01 throwback to Mark Martin and those earlier days in the 0-1 car. I say earlier, later days for Mark Martin, earlier days for the rest of us. That was in my childhood still, so that tells about how old I am.
And this 39 of Tucker, he is fast. I mean, he is moving up through this field, up 4 spots already, working on the inside of Frohnapple. He'll have the position here. Frohnapple going to have a little bit of momentum off of turn 2, but Tucker, I imagine, will send it here into turn 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Brasfield looks like he's almost blocking Noah Rainwater right there. And Frohnapple's going to get a great run here out of turn 4.
Pass not yet made by Tucker. Still working on that 30 car of Frohnapple. Can't quite get by. He'll try down again in turns 1 and 2 to get by that 30 car. There you see he gets position on the 30. Still just stuck in position. Can't get away from that 30 car just yet. This is the battle for 5th place.
Yeah, it looks like, he's stuck right there on the inside. Frohnapple's giving a, oh! Brasfield is sideways. No Rainwater sideways. They've somehow saved it.
What a catch out of Brasfield and Rainwater. 2 fantastic saves there on the front stretch. That backs up this whole bunch of cars now. 3 wide into turn number 1. Rainwater backed up. Tucker backed up. West backed up. There's Jeremy Brown. Hang on. That's right. He served that penalty, so he's a lap down here.
The 07 is a lap down. Served that penalty on the open.
Tucker in the wall.
Kind of way. Oh, Joseph Tucker. Hard into the outside wall. No caution right now. Still green out of the track. Cars going by on the bottom.
This car is broken. He's going to try and get down right here. Not able to do so. This is going to be a problem. This might prompt yellow.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's not gonna have anywhere to go. He's very slow on track. I'd be surprised if this is not a yellow. If I were him, I'd just turn it down. He's trying to full throttle it here. Get out of the way.
He's trying to continue on. It's not as broken as it looked like it was. But problem certainly for the 39 car. He's going to go way to the back of the field now. 38th out of 39 cars. It's never a good day. Well, it's not usually a very good day if you're matching your car number in position, because usually it's more than 1. In his case, as here's a lead change. Dalton Tucker just drove by Zach Millett while all of that was happening. But in Tucker's case, his car number is 39. You don't want to try and match that in position.
No, you really don't, and it's really upsetting for Tucker. He looked like he had a really fast Toyota Camry right there, so he was moving through the field, so really frustrating. I'm not exactly sure how he got in the wall, but somehow he ended up there and bent his toe on that right front. But Dalton Tucker having some speed as well. Already challenging Zach Millett, but you got to think right now, what do these guys do with their tires? So that's something we haven't talked about yet tonight, Andrew. What is this tire looking like? We know Charlotte is a little bit abrasive, but are these guys saving, or what are they doing tonight? I don't know.
Well, once again, Team Conti has brought a setup here that is trying to give these guys some options. Allow them to push early or save early to then push late or save late. And really, there's any number of ways you could run this race. Point being, Team Conti Racing Setups has brought us a fantastic car once again, a fantastic setup to give these guys options on how they want to run the racetrack, give them a little more off-throttle time, and give us a little better racing than what the stock iRacing setup can provide. And I think it's working so far. We're seeing some drivers get away and still be able to battle like this, nose to tail, and other drivers still stuck in battles across the entire racetrack. I like what we're seeing so far. 13 now, well, nearly 13 laps into this race.
I like what I'm seeing. These drivers have definitely figured it out after last week with the Team Conti setup. They wanted to do that as well, like what you were talking about, and the drivers were just shocked by how different it was for them, because we saw a lot of abnormal moves, abnormal cautions out of Las Vegas and out of these drivers that we know how tenured they are, and so this week they've really figured it out here at Charlotte Speedway.
I'm going to watch from some of the static cams here for a second and just take it all in. Your two leaders are out front, nose to tail, then it's spaced out third, fourth, fifth, sixth on back. And then you get that single file line of race cars. Everybody is spaced out right now, and I think battling the racetrack, which is what you want in a race like this. In fact, this race was shortened. I'm going to just put it out there because of some of the conditions we've seen in some of these races that we've had so far. A few more cautions than what's been expected. Las Vegas last week took a little longer to complete than was expected. So the league wanted to shorten this race up a little bit, make sure it didn't take all night long, and give these guys an opportunity really to put up or shut up. Either have a clean race or not. And so far, I mean, we're only 15 in, but I will knock on wood quickly. So far, this product clearly is giving us what these drivers need in order to have a clean race like this, get strung out, single file. That might sound bad, but passes clearly are still able to be made. We're seeing it on the racetrack right now. Let's go deeper in the field here and watch some of these guys battle around. But these guys are able to race the racetrack, race each other, and I think do so cleanly. I, again, love what we're seeing so far from Team Conti Racing Setups.
Yeah, couldn't agree more here out of the product that we're getting already. And this is what we normally see from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We see sometimes these long, hopefully long, green flag runs of cars single filed out as Zach Millett now going back to the inside of Dalton Tucker, trying to retake the lead here on lap 17.
Side by side for the race lead. How about this? It's never better than this. We got side-by-side racing for the lead, 17 laps into the race. This is what you want to see out of a setup like this, out of a fixed setup race. Tucker defends on the outside, Millett on the inside. 17 laps now complete. Millett not able to make the pass just yet, but you saw he was able to mount that charge and get side-by-side, and if he had done one thing differently, maybe he could have got that pass made. Tucker just defending on the outside is a little too good right now.
The good news for Millett is he has all night. I mean, we just completed lap 18. We've got 182 to go. So, I mean, he's got all night long. We're going to have pit stops throughout this race. Over 65% fuel. We've guesstimated with Brandon Cronapple and our guys back there that it's around 50 to 52 laps. So we could see just under 3 pit stops here tonight. So there's a lot that can change here tonight in this 200-lap race. Now Millett back to the outside, trying to make that momentum on the high line work.
And so far it is working. He gets the advantage into turn number 3. He said, all right, you want to defend from the top side? I'll go to the top side. Tucker, a misstep, pushes up into the 31 car there for a moment. And Tucker, I think, is going to let this spot go for the time being, or at least let the positioning go. He's still on the inside, but is a little nicer this time into turn 1. And Millett able to run the outside lane, might have him cleared. Yes.
Yeah, overshot turn 3 there just a little bit. Was a 21 of Tucker. Millett back to where he started. Tucker right back to where he started.
A little further back. Somebody's climbing up through the ranks here in the field. That's going to be the 61 car of Spencer Ray, sporting a Joey Logano look-alike almost.
I love it.
I say almost. I really like that paint scheme. But Spencer Ray, moving through this field, is now up to the 7th position. Where did he start? Only back in 12th, which I know that's not that far back, but 5 positions in a race like this. Again, these guys have options of how they want to run the car here early. They've got to go about that 50-lap mark to get a fuel run in, and you see he's using these tires through the early half of the stint to make moves to get this ground and hold on to it later, at least try to.
Big run here on on the 05 of Noah Rainwater. He's going to try to take it to the outside. Rainwater not going to jump up and defend. That'll be side by side here into turn 1. Spencer Ray will have big momentum here off of turn 2. I imagine he'll be able to make the pass, but Rainwater not done with it yet. Battle for 6th position.
Right behind Kevin West, who recently went by the 05 car, so Rainwater starting to slip up a little bit and drop down through the top 10 ever so slightly. He pushes up that time out of 3 and 4 and loses a little bit of ground to this number 61 car. And for the 6th place, the 61 gets clear, moves on down, and gets on by that 05.
Well, Noah Rainwater was not aided earlier by the incident between him and Brassfield, so that got him back here just a little bit, and now just not having quite enough pace as some of these other drivers here. We got a big line of cars here. We got the 45 of Matt Cherry and that 75 of Nathan Paris. Nathan Paris was running in second earlier, but fell back, and you can lose momentum real easy here, Andrew, on this 1.5 mile track.
That you can. It's really easy if you miss one corner to miss a bunch and just be thrown off your game, and we saw that from the 75 car. Just had one bad corner, it stacked up into a few bad corners overall, and he went backwards, but he's only gone backwards to 10th position. All things considered, you're running second in the point standings, coming into race 5. To run top 10, I think, is all you need to do. We're into points racing, which we haven't seen in NASCAR Cup racing in a while. But these guys don't have stages. They don't have win and you're in. They just need to get to race number 12 and get through race 12 in the top 12 in the standings to be in the playoffs for a championship and be reset. So we're points racing, and we don't see that anymore in the NASCAR Cup Series. This is a bit of a difference from what we're used to. These guys can relax. Again, top 10 for the 75 car, I think, is just about equal to a win.
Yeah, we don't see it anymore in the Cup Series nowadays, but look, after the past few weeks, a lot of people have been complaining about the modern day setup and the playoffs and all that stuff. So if you're unhappy with the product there, come over here to the SimRap Market Series, because we got this, and I think it puts on a pretty good show and a pretty good fight to make the playoffs here.
Watching on board from Brassfield, you see the 30 car of Fronapple defending. That was the 01 of Kevin West on the outside. And somebody else who's points racing is going to be Brassfield. He was higher up in the standings after Coda, fell back after Las Vegas. He's trying to get back into the top 12. He needs to take advantage of a good day here at Charlotte. You see him doing so far in the top 5, trying to go a little further forward. But right now, Fronapple defending on the outside lane is halting that 89 car's progress.
Ooh, caution! That's a huge save for Brandon Fronapple right there. I think he was losing the pace, as you'll see 6 cars there. That's the 07 of Jeremy Brown, already a lap down. Looked like he had an issue with the lead lap car.
And he's likely done for the day.
Not what he needed after last week.
It might not be done for the day. His car actually looks like it's rolling nicely on all 4 wheels, but he's going to be severely injured, and he, of course, won't be the beneficiary of a lucky dog this time. So he's going to end up stuck a lap down with all this damage. That's a big problem for the 07. Let's see what happened. Oh, Matt Cherry and Nathan Paris.
Just caught up into. Yeah, we saw earlier Nathan Paris trying to go around the 45 of Matt Cherry. It looked like he had just a little bit more pace. And right there off of turn 2, looked like they got into each other. We'll take another look back here from another angle. Looking at that 45 and 75 car. Cherry,
wow.
Cherry just gets loose off of turn 2. Tags Paris, and the 07 of Brown had nowhere to go. Cars coming to pit road as well.
Watch from the onboard of the 3 car of Daniel Wiles. You see the 45 just buckle under pressure, get real free. And Wiles just scoots on through here.
Oh my goodness, loses a few positions, but better to lose a few than have damage that would take away your pace.
You mentioned pit stops. Everybody comes on in. Zach Millett, Noah Rainwater, Dalton Tucker, Nathan Paris, Brandon Fronapple, Ian Brassfield. Everybody comes on in here. It should be down and away quickly. 4 tires and fuel for everybody. This is going to throw a slight wrench in the plan as far as fuel. It's not going to be a straight up run 50 laps, run 50 laps, run 50 laps anymore. It's going to be a little bit different. But there you see the 31 car gets out first.
Yeah, 31, great pit stop there. It really, I mean, obviously, automated crews here on pit road, so those times with 4 tires, 2 tires, or fuel only, which I imagine every driver took 4 here, Looking at the charts, it looks like just about everyone did. It'd be crazy to take 2 tires. Drivers might do it near the end if we have like a green-white checkered, but I imagine in every regular pit stop you'll take 4. But really important not to slide too far forward or too far back in your box, because under a caution like this, you can lose a multitude of positions.
Problems here for Jeremy Brown, of course, with that caution being swept up in this crash. He is not eligible for the lucky dog. Is he going to stay out? No. I thought for a second him being behind the pace car meant he was going to stay out and try and get a lap back with the wave around, but no, he is going to come on in and take service to the 07 car. He's going to need to. He's got a lot of right front damage.
Yeah, he really does. Needs this. It's obviously he didn't want it to happen, but already being a lap down, now having damage, he just needs to take this time to get that damage repaired over these next. Hopefully, he's hoping probably for some more cautions to be able to repair some of this damage, but better to have happened now in this race than later on, because he has time to be able to get that damage fixed and recover. But if it was to happen later, he wouldn't have that time. So I bet you that 07 car is hoping for a few more cautions. Probably still not as many as last week, but he's hoping for some to get some of that damage in here. Joseph Tucker in that 39, now up to 36, only 3 from where he dropped after he got into the wall. He'll be looking probably to take some damage repair.
Yeah, he definitely was trying to get some damage repaired under this yellow, and we've learned a little bit more about what happened to him. He put it in the fence and left it there because he had a screen freeze. So his monitor froze up and he couldn't see where he was going. He put it in the wall, left it there, and let everybody go on by. And that was actually, looking back on it, one of the smarter things he could have done in that situation. And keeps everybody in the race. So he played that right and gets back into this thing here now out of Tennessee. He's in 34th right now. Not so bad after all of that.
No, and I think hopefully he's probably hoping for another caution or two. Not sure how much damage he was able to repair there under that pit stop, but obviously getting some done, he'll be able to drive a little bit better. And you got to wonder, can he repair enough throughout this race to have that speed he had earlier? Because, man, he was fast. 45 NOS Energy car of Matt Cherry was the one who caused our caution there. Got loose out of turn 2 and collected the 75 and the 07 car. He's now in 36th. Or it says 33rd on our charts.
So Matt Cherry will line up towards the rear of the field here and go back after it. Was running around the top 10 at the time of caution. And there's the field getting doubled up on 4 fresh tires and a full tank of Sunoco race fuel. I say full tank, 65% full tank. Mostly full tank of Sunoco race fuel to go back after it here. Any surprises in the early run?
I'm really out. You could see drivers all throughout the field still able to make passes. It wasn't, you couldn't get past anybody. These drivers were able to make passes. Spencer Ray was coming through the field. Nathan Paris was coming back. Edward Jurgen is maintained up near the top 10. So these drivers, I've enjoyed the product so far through the 30 laps we've had, and I'm ready for more.
Here we go, down to the Geico restart zone to get this race restarted. The Conti Racing Setups 400 is back underway at Charlotte. Kevin West able to get by for second spot. He gets ahead of the 21 of Dalton Tucker. Uses that bottom lane to perfection off the green flag.
West strong hair away. Whoa, Brassfield up in the wall. Rainwater sideways. Oh my goodness, 4 wide, they're crashing.
All over the place. Sean Bounty, Jared with Sean, Edward Jurgen, Gary Bowman, and oh my gosh, Michael Moultrie goes for a slide. Big accident here off of turn number 4, the first restart of the night after the initial start, and we've got a caution.
Yeah, I swear every time we say something different happens. Take a look back at what happened. I believe it all started with Brassfield there in that 89 car. Spencer Ray on his outside, Brassfield in that pink and yellow car. Brassfield got around Spencer Ray, and here into turn 4, goes up to the middle line. Looks like he just misses it, loses traction. Rainwater gets sideways. So it's really a 2-car incident there that stacked everybody up, and then there was nowhere for anybody to go.
A lot of cars just stacking up as they all had to try and check up. But it really was started by the 05 just getting loose.
Yeah, Brassfield probably would have stayed up near the top. Drivers would have been able to go around him. He didn't lose too much speed, but
watch it here.
I want to say the 05 looking along here saw. I don't know if he was reacting to the 8-9, maybe he was back on the track and lifted so abruptly that the rear end went around, or if he just was pushing hard and got loose in the mid-center of the corner.
Sean Bounty and Jared Rashawn took some pretty big hits. We'll ride on board here with Noah Rainwater and watch from his perspective. This might help give us a little more idea of what happened to him. I think he just got freed out on the inside. I really do. Yeah. You see the wheel twitch a little bit and the car went with him. And then he gets hit there by one car to slide up and into the wall. Gets hit pretty hard by the 41 of Matt Lovett.
Yeah, I was looking at his RPM through that, and it really didn't drop as much as if he would have let off the gas, it would have dropped significantly, but it really didn't. So it looked like he was just pushing hard and got loose in the corner. So Brassville was just a kind of a separate incident, but that really all started here with the 05 of Rainwater, and it really stinks because, I mean, he's got a strong car here, obviously, but he's had two mistakes where he got into Brassfield earlier, and that put him back in the 6th position, and then here gets loose here through turn 3 and 4. That's going to put him way back in 5th.
Here's Jared Rashawn's perspective. He's going to get hooked around by the 92 of Jurgen. Boom, big hit.
He only hit the car, so Jared Rashawn shouldn't have really any damage from that. Edward Jurgen went around, a lot of others. Man, Edward Jurgen really just can't have a clean weekend by really almost no fault of his own. Just seems like he's usually around the incidents.
Here's Austin Wheeler's perspective out of the Virginias. Oh, he got free too, so it wasn't just Rainwater. It was a more spread issue, and he T-bones the 34 of Sean Boundy there. Boundy, he's in a good playoff spot. He enters this evening in what, 3rd in the standings, something like that?
Yeah, he's 4th in the 3rd. You got it right. 3rd in the standings. Saw him earlier. He had through the first green flag stint, he had moved up 9 positions from the start, so he had a fast machine there, but now he's going to have some pretty heavy damage. Looking along here with the 41 of Matt Lovett, starts to see a parking lot appear in front of him. Tags Sean Bounty, and there's where that rear damage came for Rainwater.
One more replay here. It's going to be with the 29 car of Michael Moultrie. He checks up. He gets into Rainwater. Not Rainwater, that's Bowman, rather. The other O number car. And just goes for a lazy spin after the fact.
Yeah, a lot of cars involved there. The 07 of Jeremy Brown, he's a lucky dog.
Look at that. Gets back into the race. This is everything he needed and more. Edward Jurgen stuck on the pit lane. He is going to go a lap down. And
I really sympathize with Jurgen. I mean, he has really just been trying to have a great day, and it looks like for every single race, something has happened that he's been involved in.
There's Edward Jurgen. Quentin Lee also in the pit lane from Speed Incorporated. Joseph Tucker getting back out there after some significant repairs to that 39 car. You see the right side damage still all over that right front fender. Jeremy Brown, you mentioned getting the lucky dog. We'll get back into this race. There he is.
Tucker, I think, is back on the lead lap as well. At least that's what it says for me right now. Jared Bushon also on the lead lap. Obviously, he was just near the back there because he was caught up in that incident. So a few guys back here that were trying to avoid that incident and all the things being, but man, did not expect that one.
Zachary King checking in the YouTube chat. You know what it's almost time for?
I think I know what you're going to propose.
It's almost time for Scott's trivia question of the day. Of the week, maybe? Yeah. Of the week. One a week. Not one a day. We don't have trivia questions on our days off, but we'll talk more about that during this green flag run. As long as we get a green flag run. Here we go into the Geico restart zone one more time. Zach Millett, Kevin West, lap 36 becomes lap 37. Green flag back in the air at Charlotte. Uh-oh. Kevin West just disappeared out of the world.
That's what I was thinking. He's not there right now. Nowhere on our screens nor our timing charts. I was literally just about to talk about him, about how strong he was here in this race, and he's no longer here right now.
That's why I went to the blimp camera, because he disappeared and we were focused on him. So when he was out of the world, all of a sudden, there was no car for iRacing to focus on, and there's crashing in the back, landing and more.
Caution's out.
Bowman.
Oh.
Ruisi, the 22 of Wolf, landing in the 58 car. Bowman in the 08. A collective spin on the back straightaway here.
Kevin West still gone with this caution. This might give him time if there's trouble with his internet to reconnect. We'll have to keep you updated on that one. Oh, looks like, what was that, a 58 getting loose there, and then more contact with the 08.
Oh, Jared Washon's going to be done after that.
Yeah, it's a big contact with the left front there.
Let's watch this back. Brian Ruisi in the 50 car was the car that initially got loose. See him running towards the back of the field here, just behind Rainwater and Cherry. Got down to the bottom, got loose, comes up the racetrack, and it just never really settled down. We'll slow it down here for you. Never really settled down onto the apron, tries to bring the car back up. Bowman spins into the 58 car of Lanning and comes down and hooks the 50 into the 27 car of Jared Washon. That's the biggest hit in this whole crash.
Yeah, it looks like Bowman got loose on his own. It looked like that was a separate incident there, that Bowman getting loose.
Here's Washon's perspective from Sim Racing Connect.
It looks like Lodison might have had some contact there out of turn 2 that spun Bowman.
That's day over for Jared Washon.
Yeah, that left front is not moving. Now it is, but ooh, yeah, that does not look good. I'm really curious. Yeah, look along here with the 08. Him and that's Lodison in the 24 behind him. Yeah, looks like I think Lodison got into his rear.
I think Bowman was checking up for the loose 50.
Probably so.
And I bet you if we go to his onboard, we'll see that. Listen in. He was out of the gas.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't a great replay. Let's do this one more time. Watch the RPMs here. He picks up the throttle. He lifted. And Lodison ran him over.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way for Lodison to know that he was lifting there because of the 50 of Ruisi was really down out of Lodison's vision there. So, really just a racing incident. Definitely frustrating there for the 08 car. Oh, man, yeah. Gotta wonder what the damage is on Ruisi's car now as well after that contact with Washon.
Kevin West is done. Edward Jurgen, it seems, is still in the pit lane. Here's the 2 of Quentin Lee with problems. He's going to bring it to a stop, and is he going to tow? Or did he not want to pit?
What happened to Quentin? What is he doing?
Not sure.
What? Is that legal?
I suppose so. There's Jared Washon in his pit box taking service.
Brian Ruisi in that 50 car will be given the EOL for the caution, but he's also going to have another penalty. I don't think it'll really matter because it'll already be at the end of the field. Too many boxes.
There's Colin Terrell in the pit lane.
That's a new paint scheme for him.
It is. Then Michael Wolf in the pits. New driver.
I was going to say, Michael Wolf has yet to race with us here in Season 2 at least. So this 22 car, trying to have a good day, and he's already been involved in an incident not of his own making.
Well, this gives us an opportunity to talk about Scott's question of the day. Let me get this ready in YouTube, and Scott, I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, I've got it copied for you. What is it? IMB Racewear. Obviously, they've been giving us some vouchers, $25 vouchers, and we've been wanting to give them away with the help of IMB Racewear. So, I'll give you my trivia question, and like always, the first to answer with the correct answer will get the $25 IMB Racewear voucher. So here's the question. What was planned to be built at Charlotte Motor Speedway originally, but was cut because of construction issues? And this will go in the notes as well. It was almost built years later in 1985, but never came about. So that last little tidbit should help you be able to find the answer. And if not, we'll, I've got a few more to narrow down the field here. So do with that what you will, viewers.
All right, I'm prepping this over on YouTube.
Gotta get it out to you to make sure that you all have it. You all read it correctly, because that last little fact is important. While Andrew's doing that, obviously we've had 2 cautions already. We've had pit stops. A lot of these drivers stayed out because, again, we only have 6 sets of tires. One of them has already been used, and we still have over 150 laps to go.
And here we go, into the Geico restart zone to get this race restarted. Millet, Tucker, Ray, your top 3. Green flag, back in the air at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Nearly 3 wide off the second corner there off the restart. Millet is away to a huge lead.
He's gotten some great restarts here. He's getting some great restart practice. Brandon Fronapple trying to come at the rear of Dalton Tucker here through the second corner, the second lap here of this restart. Spencer Ray still on the move here, now up 8 positions from the start. So he's been slowly advancing here through these last couple of restarts. Caution is out yet again.
Matt Cherry in trouble, it looks like. And, oh, Noah Rainwater. Home race for Noah Rainwater. He's in trouble.
Oh, looks like he's got even more damage than he had earlier. A lot of damage on that left front.
Here's Noah Rainwater off into turn number 1. Car sets, and actually it was Christian Light getting loose up into the 05 that turns the 05 around, and that's a hard hit. He gets hit by Ledison going by. That's even worse.
Yeah. Just not having the best of luck right now. Earlier, other 2 incidents were of his own making, but this one, he just hasn't had good luck today. The 05 of Rainwater. Getting another look here. 96 of Christian Light, the car directly in front of him. Now on the inside, yeah, he just gets loose. Rainwater was there on the outside.
Oh, man. Ledison hit him hard.
That was a big hit. Oh, fake out up front. Zach Millet, Dalton Tucker fake out the pit stop. A lot of cars staying out.
One more replay here. Christian Light, we'll see what happened to him down into the corner. The rear end just came out from underneath him. As soon as he took it onto the banking, he just got loose. You mentioned pit stops. Most of the field, it looks like, stays out.
Yeah, Millet and Tucker dove in, try to trick the field and trick some people to go on in, but no one fell for it.
Tucker, it seems, one of the first cars into the pit lane. Rainwater along with him. Brian Ruisi in there as well. Casey Knighton in the pits. Sean Lodison is in, as you would expect. And that's about that. Jared Rashawn, also in the pit lane, has been there for a while. Now 6 laps down, and I'd imagine is going to stay there.
Yeah, been in the box for almost 8 minutes here. So, not having the best of nights there for the 27 car, like we saw earlier. Had that left front almost completely destroyed. So imagine here he'll be in the pit box for quite another long while. Zach Millett has been getting some great restart practice, and he's been pretty darn good at it so far, Andrew.
Yeah, I'd say he's getting better and better with every restart. So I also want to bring attention to a couple of drivers in this series that actually stream over on TikTok and Twitch and whatnot. I'm trying to find one of them. Found him, but he's not live right now. What must be going on? It's Kevin West, actually. Oh, you know what? It's because he dropped out of the race. I was going to pull up his TikTok and interact, and, well,
yeah,
I forgot. He dropped out of the race, but he's not the only one. I know Daniel Wiles also streams over on TikTok, and I'm not sure of his handle. You see the TikTok logo there on the left rear quarter panel of his car.
That is a sick paint scheme from that number 3.
Yeah, it's a nice one. I like that he's got the 3 leaning forward, because you've got to have a 3 leaning forward if you're going to run a 3 car.
Always. I mean, but I like how he really is incorporated. I mean, Simrat Market, their colors are the white, blue, and red, so I like how it kind of incorporates into the America paint scheme. I'm really upset about Kevin West because he had some great speed for that first 30 laps. I mean, he was really solidly performing in the top 5.
Well, for those of you watching, that trivia question will be up for a while. We'll reveal the answer around halfway through this race, so you've got about 50 more laps until we reveal that answer. And
yeah,
the first... Go ahead.
No, with 70, if I'm looking along in the chat and no one has it with 75 laps to 175 laps, then I will give another hint.
There you go. And the first YouTube user to comment with the correct answer will be the winner of this evening's $25 IMB Racewear voucher. And all you'll have to do from there is email me directly at andrew@pitstoptv.com, and we will get you hooked up with the information that you need. So if you're still watching over on YouTube, there's a bunch of you that are. Let us know, even if it's a complete guess. Even if it's a complete guess. And hey, if you're watching on your TV and you can't comment that way, pull up your phone. I know you've got one, a phone, a tablet, something like that. Comment. Even if it's a complete guess. Chime in here in the trivia question and let us know what you think was originally set to be built at Charlotte Motor Speedway, on the site of Charlotte Motor Speedway anyway.
Yeah, it would have been incorporated with the racetrack. It would have been a permanent part of the infield of the racetrack. That was a little mini hint.
That was a hint.
It was a small one. It was small.
Well, this early in the race, we're still very early. I mean, we're in the first quarter of this event. Any picks? If you had to list 3 drivers to pick for the win?
I mean, I think, not to say this lightly, but I think you're really dumb if you don't pick Zach Millett as one of those 3. Because obviously 2 wins, running up front all day long, really strong. I'm going to go with Dalton Tucker as well, running second. I think those are really easy picks. And then, man, there's so many guys up here within this top 10 that are really performing well. I wish I had more than 3. But my last one I want to say is at 61, Spencer Ray. I mean, he has been progressing through this field. He has had pace. Frohnapple has not quite had the same amount of speed. So I think that 61, if we can get a little bit more green flag, he's going to be up battling with Tucker and Millett as well. I know there's the 3 easy picks, but I really do believe one of those 3 will win this race.
It's hard to agree, hard to disagree, rather. I said it was hard to agree with you. No, it's hard to disagree. We've got some guesses going on in the YouTube chat. One of those guesses, or multiple guesses actually now, from Zachary King, who won last night's BRB Butker Cup Series race at Atlanta Motor Speedway here on Pit Stop TV. That was a thriller of a finish.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with motorsport.
Nothing to do with motorsport. Interesting. So that completely takes it back away.
Yeah.
You're giving away all the hints.
I know. Look, I'm telling you, I made it hard this week. And look, the last 2 ones we've had it within the first little bit. So I'm proud of myself here. These drivers get ready to go.
Here we go. Geico restart zone one more time. Green flag back in the air on to lap 50 of 200. Down the back stretch of turn number 3. First battle is for third. Fronap on the inside, Ray on the outside.
Got Ray on the attack of Brandon Fronapple. Dalton Tucker was starting on that outside lane, able to slide down, and Fronapple now able to slide in front of that 61 of Spencer Ray. He holds on to third position here coming for lap 52.
Oh, cars in the wall. Big crash right there.
Looks like Andon Mendenhall.
Austin McColgan, Russell Black in a big hit. Black, I think, took the biggest hit.
Man. 64 Black already brings it to pit road. I heard someone over the radio say Wheeler, so I think Austin Wheeler in that 56 car was somehow involved. Look along here, that 37 car Busch Light camo. Looks like, who was that? Was that the 44 of Matthew Taylor?
Yeah, that was Taylor.
Cautions breed cautions.
Gonna look back at it here for Matthew Taylor from Taylor and Taylor Motorsports. Into turn 1, the rear end just came out from underneath him. Very similar to last week at Las Vegas. Very similar to everything that's been happening so far this evening. Into these corners, these guys are just getting free.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Nathan Paris right there was in front of Matthew Taylor. Got loose as well, but was able to save it. And Taylor got loose in the same spot and was unable to save it there. 37 of Andon Mendenhall had nowhere to go, and that created a 4 wide, really stack up there, and well, they weren't going to hold that.
On board with Russell Black. Gonna be out of the race after this.
Oh yeah, that's a big hit to the outside wall of turn 2.
Meanwhile, Austin McColgan tried to miss it all on the inside of the racetrack. Let's go on board with him for this crash.
Haven't talked much about Colgan today. His high is up to 15th. Currently, he was running here within the top 20. And just gets tagged in the back and then big contact. That 64 of Russell Black. I wonder if that was that Martin Martinek behind that they got into the rear of McColgan?
We can find out. The power of replays.
I was going to say the awesome power of replay and producing of Andrew Cardinelli.
Looks like it's going to be... Oh, that's where the Wheeler comment comes from.
Oh yeah. It was Austin Wheeler.
Well, now we know.
A big damage on that Blue Angels car. Look, I love the Blue Angels, so I love this paint scheme. You know, the Blue okay, there was a music video by the Blue Angels back in I want to say 2006, and it was they had Dreams by Van Halen playing, and that was the first song I ever remember hearing in my life. Random tidbit fact about my life. I love 80s music, and that might be why.
I'm perusing the YouTube guesses. It's mostly Maverick Hawk and Zachary King joining in. In fact, it's been only them two. If you're watching on YouTube, again, this is a call to action. Get into the YouTube chat and guess throw a guess out there. It could be any wild imagination guess. Also, happy early birthday to Maverick Hawk.
I was just about to say, happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday to Maverick Hawk. But throw out any wild guess in the YouTube chat. I guarantee you, you'll be close, because this sounds like it's out of left field. Meanwhile, this is a chance to talk about what's upcoming here at Pit Stop TV. Tomorrow night, we go racing at USA International Speedway for the first of 11 races in the Sarah Pierce Fleet Service Super Series. The Sim Auto Racing Association gets back to action this evening in the Contender Series as well, the Simrat Market Contender Series. They kick things off in the late model portion of the Sim Auto Racing Association. We had mini stocks on track at Hickory last night, late model stocks at USA this evening, super late models tomorrow. That'll be live on Pit Stop TV here on November 14th at 9:45 Eastern, so check in for that tomorrow night. And then Tuesday, November 19th, we go racing for the heat racing and qualifying portion of the Fall Brawl for the Sim Auto Racing Association 1/8 Racing Media National Tour. And next Wednesday, November 20th, we head out to Iowa Speedway for the final race of November. And the final race before Thanksgiving. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, dude. Thanksgiving food is it's the food holiday. One of my favorites. I absolutely love it. You can catch all of our upcoming broadcasts on all of our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitch, and YouTube. All the places that you can find on your phone that's social media, we are there here at Pit Stop TV. Going back to the race here real quick, look who's in 6th place, and look how many positions he's gained. Adam Benefield, that 83 car, up 29 from the start of this race.
You see car 83 from 35th and no qualifying lap to restarting 5th here on this restart. Here we go to the Geico restart zone. Lap 55 will become lap 56. And the green flag is back in the air here at Charlotte. Down the back stretch of turn number 3. First side-by-side battle is for 3rd. Brasfield outside, Fronapple inside. They fight through the corner.
Brasfield started in 4th on this restart. Got a good restart. Fronapple not the best, but Tucker was worse than them and was able to hold up that 89. Created this side-by-side battle. Fronapple still on the inside here. Side-by-side gets a great run through the center of the corner, but Brasfield is going to have a great run here at a turn 2. Absolutely pushing it on the limit of his tires.
Brasfield keeps working the outside lane on Fronapple, trying to go somewhere here. Fronapple unrelenting down low as they follow Tucker around the corner and down the front straightaway now. Lap 58. Oh, Brasfield brushes the wall. Alfie Sharon Jr. fastest lap with 30.099. And here we go to the outside of Tucker. Tucker was a little bit slow that time through 1 and 2.
He was kind of accidentally threw a block on Fronapple and then slid up, slowed down the momentum of the 89. He's got a little bit more of a run here into turn 3. Center of the corner still being wrapped well by the 30 of Fronapple. Brasfield again has that great momentum off the corner. Still both of them stuck behind Tucker. Looks like Tucker's lost a little bit of that speed that he had earlier in this race.
Alfie Sharon Jr. moving forward. Here he comes. He's on the same tires as these guys. He's just got this thing figured out all of a sudden.
Sharon Jr. up 18 positions from the start here, riding behind Brasfield. Man, Tucker is absolutely slow and he's creating a little bit of a stack up here within the top 5. This is where drivers have to be patient. It is so easy to get impatient in situations like these where you're faster, and it's so easy to put yourself in a bad situation and make a mistake. And it's this time, yeah, don't go 3 wide here, Alfie. Don't do it.
He thought about it, tried almost there in turns 3 and 4. Gets real free, slides back. Now Benefield goes by. That's going to bring Daniel Wiles in the 3 car.
All these drivers up here within the top 8 are so close to this battle, all because this 21 of Tucker is really, he's blocking, and it's working for him right now. This has given Zach Millett a 1.1 second lead, and the rest of these cars, 2nd through 8th, are all here under a blanket.
Brasfield might get by here. He works on the outside lane. He is going to go by Tucker. Brushes the wall to do it.
He's going to slow his momentum, allow Tucker to get back on the inside, but I think now, since they're side by side, Brasfield is going to be able to move through here through turn 2. Like you'll see, he'll turn down, get great speed off the corner, and he'll move up into 2nd position. Meanwhile, now Frohnapple on the outside of Adam Benefield. Benefield trying to continue his march to the front.
Benefield, Frohnapple side by side for the 4th position. Tucker in 3rd. And Tucker goes up, then goes down. Goes up, then goes down, blocking both lanes, but now they get single file right behind him. So Benefield will be able to pick a lane and start to put some pressure on that 21 car. Frohnapple slides back to be side by side now with Daniel Wiles for 5th.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Adam Benefield wrapped the bottom beautifully there. Great run out of turn 2. Tucker will throw it in here into 3 and 4, side by side. Benefield still going to have great speed. Tucker gets a little loose out of turn 4. Still has a bit of an edge on Benefield. It's not done yet. Benefield currently in 3rd, but Tucker still trying to battle back on the outside.
Watch on from the blimp. Benefield gets clear now, the 21 car. Daniel Wiles goes to work on the 30 of Brandon Frohnapple. Can't get cleared just yet. Going on board.
That 21 just does not have the pace that he had earlier, and he's absolutely holding the rest of these guys up. Daniel Wiles now right behind him. Frohnapple a little bit slow here into turn 1. Wiles able to just carry so much more speed through the center than Tucker.
And Zach Millett is away to a 1.1 second lead still. Holding that now over Ian Brasfield. 1.3 to Benefield. 1.6 now to Tucker, who just continues to fall back. Don't know what's changed for the 21 car, but something has changed.
Yeah, he had great pace earlier. We saw him take the lead away. Only one lead change for this race, and it was Tucker taking the lead away. He held it for about, I want to say it was 6 or so laps until Millett came and took it back. But after that, those rash series of cautions, he just doesn't have the pace anymore. Falling back now to 4th position. I've also got to say, Andrew, we didn't get to talk about this because this action has been excellent. Spencer Ray is disconnected from the session. He's out.
Yeah, 15 laps ago out of this race. Unsure what's gone on.
Me either.
Unfortunate.
Sean Lodison also disconnected. He had a lot of damage earlier. And Mendenhall is also disconnected. A few drivers out of this race.
On board of Brandon Frohnapple. Right behind Dalton Tucker and Daniel Wiles. Just riding along now. They'll get single file. Wiles! Wow, what a catch. Frohnapple goes by on the inside of the 21 of Tucker. Sharon's going to follow through. Whoa, my gosh.
That was a close one. Wiles now moves into 4th. Frohnapple in 5th. Tucker continues to fall. Now Alfie Sharon Jr. on the attack on the inside.
The Track Bar Media 99 car trying to go by. Can't do it just yet. We'll slide back into 7th. And we'll try to do it all over again. While these guys get single file and start to race this thing out, let's drop back a little bit in the field. We've got Matthew Montgomery and some others battling deeper in the field. Sean Boundy just ahead of him. Boundy for 10th. Montgomery for 11th. Also got Austin Wheeler and Christian Light. A little bit deeper even yet, we've got Quentin Lee and Mark Martinek. These guys are fighting for 24th spot. It's difficult to cover all of 40 car field. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
But we want to try and do our best. You know, we see the other battles going on. We want to at least sink back here and cover some of these fights because it is just so important to the race to do so. Right now, you're seeing Jeremy Brown and Matthew Taylor go fighting. Brown gets the spot for now. Taylor slides back into 21st. And Michael Matta sits there on the 88 car, now in a position to try and take advantage of all of this and work on that 44 car. Slides up into turn 1. Quentin Lee down there in the 2, trying to pass the 22 of Michael Wolf. All of these guys fighting just south of 20th.
Yeah, Lee, late speed through the center of the corner there. Imagine he'll wrap the bottom again here, paint that line, and he'll move right in front of Michael Matta. Matta, a little bit of brush with the wall, allows Michael Wolf in that 22 car to slide up the inside, as well as Martin Martinek, now side by side, back for 24.
Martinek moving forward. You see Jared Washon in this little fight. He is 7 laps down. He was able to get back into the race out of that last yellow. But he is 7 laps down, just trying to fight for whatever it is he can get. He's the first car 1 lap down, though. First lap car, I should say. So he is in line to get a lucky dog if we get a caution.
Well, with how many drivers have had issues here in this race, it's great that he can get back out on track because, again, we still have a lot of laps to go here, just over 125. And we could see more drivers out of this race. We've seen already 3 disconnected after the last caution. So that, as long as Rashawn keeps running, that's more people that he can pass, more points he can gain.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's already gone by guys like Andon Mendenhall, Spencer Ray, Russell Black, Sean Lodison, and Kevin West. He was 39th. He was dead last. And just by virtue of getting back on the racetrack and trying to get these laps in, he's gone up to 33rd position. He'll stay in 33rd for a while until we get some more guards dropping out, or he's able to get back on to the lead lap somehow through 7 cautions. But he's back in the race. He's trying. He's doing his best.
Doing his best. Meanwhile, Daniel Wiles has fallen from 4th. And look at this. Dalton Tucker back to 4th. What was he saving?
Maybe. These guys are coming up on green flag pit stops, though, here soon. I know we've had a couple of cautions while they've had these tires and fuel on the car, but they are nearing 50 laps complete on this fuel run. And I would say they've probably got to about 60 before they have to pit.
I was going to say, probably before 60, these guys will think about pitting. Dalton Tucker, we saw him earlier. We were watching it for a long time, was falling back just inch by inch. And now he's moved back in front of Wiles, Sharon Jr., and Brandon Frohnapple. So maybe he was saving a little bit of tire. And as we prepare for pit stops, probably coming pretty soon here, as we'll see Wiles still, now he's falling back.
Oh, squeezing there into the wall. That was Sharon Jr. and Wiles.
Sharon Jr. apologizes over the radio. Didn't mean to squeeze him there. It's done and dusted. Wiles falls back to 8th. Another thing we have yet to see is we saw Brassfield was running in 2nd. He's now been passed by the 83 of Adam Beneful. Beneful only 0.6 back from Zach Millett. Earlier, he was 1.5 seconds back.
This is the kind of race where I would expect Adam Benefield to step up. I mean, he does have that Team Conti logo on the side of his car. I mean, that's part of it. But the 83, Adam Benefield, this just seems like his type of race. He's been there, done that in the NASCAR world. And absolutely seems like the kind of guy to dominate at a racetrack like this. Charlotte Motor Speedway, a driver racetrack, a driver set up here from Team Conti. It seems like the kind of day for him. So it makes sense that he's gone from the back to the front and is now, he's about to be fighting for the race lead.
I was going to say now under 0.3 of a second here for this gap. The question is, will he be able to get there before pit stops? I think so. And I've got to wonder, is Zach Millett used it up early here? or is he just running a slow pace because he's had such a good lead? I'm not quite sure, because again, we know Zach Millett had pace. Earlier we thought the 21 was having a problem, and he was able to gain those positions back. So with the 31 being a little bit slower than Benefiel here, I've got to wonder what his play is. Is this just low grip, or has he been saving this time as well? But matter of fact, and nonetheless, Benefiel is on the charge.
Down to a 10th between these two cars. Zach Millett's going to be wondering where the heck this guy came from. He's going to roll right on by, making it look easy. Doesn't even have to use the lap car as a pick.
Now Cody Ellis there moves all the way to the top line. Try to get out of the way of these two leaders, but even if the 4 got in the way of Millett, I don't think it would have mattered at all. Benefiel so strong there.
Pronap into the pits, Tucker into the pits. So here we go, the game begins. These guys are short pitting to get new tires back on the car, get back out there and make time. These guys, after running low 30s, are now running 31 ones. I mean, Benefiel's running at 30.7, but the rest of these guys are running 31 ones.
Benefiel running 4/10 faster than Zach Millett there. Everyone else is running in that 31-1 range. We've seen our first now start of the cycle for green flag pit stops. That was Dalton Tucker and others. I imagine we'll see a lot of cars cycle through here.
Moultrie, Wiles.
Moultrie and Miles, or excuse me, Wiles will dive into the pit lane here. Gotta wonder when others will come. 83 over the radio, Daniel Cardenas, the 12 over the radio. They're coming to pit road. 83 stays out. He said something over the radio. I imagined it was him pitting, but I was incorrect. He's out, and if I was him, I would stay out right now. He's still got good pace. But you got to wonder how much fuel he has left.
He's not running much slower than these guys are running on new tires. I mean, they're running 30.1s, 30.2s on brand new tires. He's running 30.7s. Now that last lap, he was finally into the 31-second bracket. He's not running that much slower, honestly. I think stretch this out for right now. He had enough of a lead, and he can build that lead back up on a long run. If I was Zach Millett, though, I would have pitted already. I would have taken that undercut, get some time built up, and try to defend it later.
I agree with that. Millett now running a 30.9, so it's interesting. We know he's strong, so I just got to wonder. It looks like he's just not running at his full speed. It looks like he's been saving a little bit, just running here behind Adam Benefiel, but I'm surprised that he hasn't pitted as well. But I would also imagine, I think Benefiel should pit here pretty soon as well, although he's still running decently fast laps. We'll see Alfie Sharon Jr., Adam Wheeler, Sean Boundy, and others into the pit lane to continue this cycle. Benefiel will be losing ground to some of these other drivers like Ian Brassfield and others that have already pitted. So you don't want to stay out there too long and lose too many positions. You got to gain back again later. Now Benefiel into the pit lane, followed by Millett.
So there you go, lap 86, 57 laps complete in the run. They come on in. Other drivers are going to have a little more time. Joseph Tucker is going to have a little more time on the racetrack here. He pitted a little bit later under one of the later cautions. My timing and scoring is freezing up trying to comprehend all this information. It is, it's lagging a little bit, lagging behind, but these two are your race leaders currently, Tucker and Lovett. They can go a little bit longer, each of them. Lovett has likely got older tires here than the 39 of Tucker. Tucker's last pit stop was for damage or fuel only, so it's hard to say. But they will come out, actually, they'll blend into these two leaders, previous leaders. Benefiel and Millett, so I'm trying to say, blend right back up into this traffic. And Millett is going to have to drive by the pitting 41 and then have to drive by that 39 car of Tucker. So Benefiel's got the easier track.
Yeah, Benefiel gets his lap back already, so if a caution was to come out, he would not be stuck. Any driver right now stuck a lap down, and that's every car from the 31 of Zach Millett and 13th all the way down back to Mark Martinek. down in 32nd. Any of them, if a caution was to come out now, would be trapped, and that would be to the advantage of all these guys who have stayed out.
And I don't think the short pit worked out for Dalton Tucker. He was not able to leapfrog the 31 car of Zach Millett. You see him here trying to chase that 31 down. He's down to 3/10 behind him, but as this cycle completes, he just did not get there.
Yeah, he gained some position a little bit, but he didn't gain the position that he wanted to and leap in front of Millett. So got to wonder how he's going to work the strategy out. Again, we've got 110 laps to go, so still a lot of time for mistakes to be made and drivers take advantage of others' mistakes. As we look along here with Nathan Paris, he is just over 0.4 of a second behind Richard Lanning and Dalton Tucker.
And Tucker should end up in third when this cycles out. Parrish should end up in fourth. Benefiel and Millett should cycle back out to first and second when everything is complete. I think Benefiel is very much taking the beginning of the run early. Easy, rather. Taking the beginning of the run easy. Because he has backed up to the 31 car of Millett. He is not pushing right now at all. He's making sure he's got those tires for later.
Well, and what he knows about Millett is Millett obviously strong. Again, he's won 2 of the races already so far. He knows Millett's going to be saving and Millett's going to be playing the right tire strategy. So Millett's not going to go and try to breeze past. I mean, he might try to take the position here from Benefiel as he's on his outside, but he's not going to go out and absolutely abuse it. So Benefiel just needs to stay close here to the 31 of Millett, as we'll see a change for the lead. Tucker trying to advance to the outside of Benefiel, but earlier we saw that Millett fell back a lot and Benefiel was on the advance. So I imagine that's got to be what he's doing here again. It worked out last time.
And I think Adam is just content to sit here and ride right now. Just loop around the bottom of the racetrack and put these laps together. We're nearing halfway. He's led some laps. He led into the pit box. All he's got to do is just continue this. Running these clean laps, keeping the car around the racetrack. Personally, I think he's a lock to win this race potentially, or at least be in the top 3.
Oh, I think so for sure. I mean, already we've seen good strength out of him. You talked about it. This is a place where he would absolutely step up, and I think he's doing that. Again, up, what is it, 32 positions? Or, excuse me, it's 30-something positions from the start. And so he's absolutely been strong, running up with these guys who are leading our points, Zach Millett, Nathan Paris, and others. So, like you said, I think he will absolutely finish in the top 3, if not battle Millett for the win. Matthew Taylor, 44 here, finally on the pit road.
He comes on in. Jared Rashawn comes on in. And this puts Zach Millett into the 6th position now, 5th actually now, passing that car. That leaves 4 cars on the racetrack yet to pit. Joseph Tucker is one of them. Jeremy Brown is another. Colin Terrell is yet another. Colin Terrell is going to be coming in the pit.
Yeah,
so Terrell comes in.
McColgan
stays out. I'm sorry,
what?
I was going to say, I didn't mean to walk on you there. I hear you talking about a paint scheme.
No, I was just talking about the 20. And that Painted Racing car has a new scheme this week. A lot of them brought out new schemes here for Charlotte Motor Speedway. Just talking about how I like it. And hey, look, you said it for Austin McColgan. You already know I like his paint scheme this week.
Oh, nearly off the wall there with Mark Martin right behind.
Don't scrape up the Blue Angels. They never get scrapes.
Everything has... Sorry?
I was going to say, we don't want to see these cars in the air.
Yeah, well, we've seen it at Charlotte before. We don't want to see it again. But everything has just about cycled out. Joseph Tucker leading, Jeremy Brown second. They still have to pit. Austin McColgan in third still has to pit. Otherwise, everything has cycled out to put Zach Millett into fourth currently, but the race lead once the cycle completes. Then it'll be Dalton Tucker out of Benefiel, Nathan Paris, Ian Brasfield, Michael Moultrie, and Brandon Frohnapple in the front. That should be your top 7 when this is all completed.
Our longest green flag run of the night.
Don't
Been
say
here,
it.
Obviously. Look, just some race info for y'all. We've had those 5 cautions for 21 laps, 4 lead changes. Some of that came from the change of the pit cycle. 39 car just came over the radio. He is pitting this time, so he will give up the lead to the 07 of Jeremy Brown. And Brown is the only car to stay out as the 51 of McColgan came in the last lap by. Looking along here with Brandon Frohnapple, battling for position with Danny Wiles. Wiles takes it away.
So Wiles moves up into what is currently 9th, but should become the 7th position here soon. Frohnapple then into 8th. At least what will be 8th.
Brown coming to pit road as well. So that will be the last 2 that stayed out are on pit lane.
That's going to bring Wheeler and Sharon Jr. into the top 10. And they're actually fighting back here. Well, actually, that's a lap car. That's Ruisi. Brian Ruisi in the middle of these two. But there you see Austin Wheeler in the black and pink 56 car. Alfie Sharon Jr. right behind in the 99. Then it'll be Austin McColgan and Sean Boundy. McColgan, though, is a lap down. So McColgan and Ruisi are fighting.
Yeah, they're both fighting for position, 1 lap down. Colin Terrell lap down as well as Michael Wolf. Others in front of them trying to finally unlap themselves, and they will. I believe Colin Terrell is that first car, 1 lap down right now. Timing charts keeps switching back and forth between him and Ruisi. Looking along here with Mark Martinek and Noah Rainwater. And I believe that is Matthew Taylor all fighting here for position back in the 24th, 5th, and 6th spot.
This is one of the closest battles on the racetrack. Rainwater and Martinek. Rainwater driving away, so it becomes Martinek and Taylor.
All just within 2/10 of each other right now. Looking back, I believe this is the 08 of Bowman fighting with Daniel Cardenas in that 12 car.
On board with the 12 car out of Texas. Gary Bowman in that Blackstone 08 was in trouble earlier in this race, has settled in and has driven up to the 18th position. Cardenas here in 19th. And Michael Madden just ahead in 17th. A little bit of blinking going on. We'll move up though. How about Christian Light and Christopher Cash? Christopher Cash is a surprise here in the 13th position. A pleasant surprise though. Haven't seen much of him. He raced last week at Las Vegas, made his appearance, and shows up here again at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And is running pretty well.
Yeah, he had a rough week last week in Las Vegas, so Christian Light has stayed out of incidents so far today in this 74 car. Able to be running 13th right now, so a great run for him so far. He would like to hold this position, maybe get into the top 10. Christian Light has also had a great day in that 96 car. Brushes the wall here out of turn 4. Again, we've seen him he's been in most of our races here for this SimRap Market Series Season 2. So we've got a fight back up front. This is the 21 of Dalton Tucker and the 75 of Nathan Paris. Tucker was running second earlier behind Millett, but Benefiel and now Paris have gotten around him. I gotta wonder if this is the same thing he did earlier, was saving a little bit more and then comes back at it later. Because earlier I really thought he had a problem, but now I think he was just saving. So I wonder if he's doing that same thing again here on this second full stint.
We know Benefiel at this point has to be saving. We know he's got pace on Zach Millett. But as Millett works into some lap traffic here, I wonder if this is maybe too much saving from Benefiel. He has let Millett get away to a 2-second race lead. If Tucker is saving, he's even further in the hole, 3 seconds down to the race lead at this point. Granted, he, of course, pulled the undercut pit strategy to try and get newer tires sooner, and it just didn't quite work out. He will go back by Paris, though. So maybe this is where the flip switches, about 25 laps complete in the run. Maybe this is when he starts to push.
Yeah. I just don't know. I mean, 27 laps now on these tires for Dalton Tucker. He was one of the first to pit for this cycle, so he's got about a little bit more than 20 laps probably, I would say, on the, well, a little probably less because we're running green conditions. So probably about 15 laps or so, maybe 16, 17 on this set of tires, this stint of fuel. So I guess it is go time for him.
Watching on board here with Tucker. Daniel Wiles and Michael Moultrie start to fight. And this is just the quiet part of the race. This is where, of course, we're waiting on something to happen. These guys are just running against the racetrack, getting these laps in, logging them. And I always go back to the Sim Auto Racing Group, SARG, SARG. They had a Super Speedway series here on Pit Stop TV earlier this year with trucks. And every single race, they ran a whole lot of green flag laps. And we always talked about this kind of hurry up and wait part of the race, where we were just getting through the laps, just putting these drivers through the motions, getting through the race. This is that point of the race here for the Simrat Market Bunch. They just need to get through these laps, get down to the end, and fight it out for these positions. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't important work happening right now. All of these guys are putting work in on each one of these laps, and it's going to affect where they finish later on. But this is the part of the race for us watching where we're just waiting on something to happen. We're waiting on something new. Otherwise, these guys, it appears, are just turning laps quietly, getting around the racetrack, and that's what they're doing. There are some battles happening around the racetrack and whatnot, but right now, everything is calmed down a little bit in terms of racing and excitement and whatnot. We're just waiting on something to happen. We're waiting. We're hurrying up and waiting. That's what I like to call it.
Hey, guess who's the fastest car on track right now?
I'm going to guess it's the 83.
83, second fastest. Fastest, the 39 of Joseph Tucker. He is right now running in 16th, running a 30.4, just ran a 30.6. So that leaves Benefield with the fastest now as a 30.5 comes across the line. But they are the fastest cars, so Joseph Tucker trying to recover from a screen, display issue earlier. He's now fighting for the 16th position, but most importantly, at least, like you said, for Benefield is running a handful of positions up, running second, and running currently fastest, just 0.2 faster than Zach Millett. So he's closing down that gap we talked about earlier. Was 2 seconds, now it's 1.9.
And he's in lap traffic as well, so he's making good time right now. Starting to claw up and get back towards the 31 car, but I just wonder if he fell too far back. 1.3 seconds behind the 31 car right now. He's got 20-ish laps to make that up.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he keeps running laps like these, if he keeps running a 30.5, and if Zach Millett keeps running a 30.7, almost a 30.8 like he just ran, he'll get there. I mean, that's 0.2 faster. He just ran a 30.6, so only a 10th faster. But even at this pace, a 10th faster will get him there before we go for pit stops again.
Well, it's that time. We've run a little over half the race now. We have a trivia question over on YouTube that's pinned at the top of your chat section. And before we reveal the before we reveal the answer, is anybody correct yet in YouTube?
Yes, someone is correct. There's actually 2 people correct, but obviously one of them got it first.
Would you like then, Scott, to reveal the answer and who got it correct first?
Yes, so the answer was a football field or football stadium. Football was what we were going for. Back originally, they were going to build one, and what sparked the idea of that was in 1985. The owner at the time wanted to have an NFL event at the track. He wanted to build a football field at the time in 1985, 25 years after the track was originally built. And he needed money for that. He needed $10 million from the city and some investors, and it just didn't pan out. And so it sparked back the idea that in 1959, when this place was created, in the original plans, it was going to be a football field. So congratulations to Maverick Hawk 77. He got it first. Zachary King also guessed it, but it was just a little bit later. Maverick Hawk 77, we will get you your $25 IMB Racewear voucher. Please contact us, and we will get you that.
Jumping back to action, we go on board here with Nathan Paris. Oh, and wow. Lap traffic has really influenced the lead. I just noticed how close Adam Benefield is.
Whoa!
Within 3/10 now. Something had to have happened. Something had to have held up that 31 car. Lap traffic, I guess, is becoming a pain for the 31 of Millet. They're close for third, but they're getting closer now for first and second. Or just as close here. And oh, Benefield has a squeeze on the inside of 3 wide. There's Taylor and Cardenas on the outside. He will go by, though.
I was going to say that was going to be slow right there, exiting 3 wide off of turn 4. 44, 83 is going to be clear, the 44 right here. So now just him and Zach Millet. 4/10 is the gap now. Looking back here to Dalton Tucker, him and Nathan Paris have been almost within 0.2 of a second from each other these past 15 laps. So they are still battling it out, but they are battling it out 6 seconds behind this lead battle. Oh, 75 coming to pit road.
This is 10 laps early. Again, this is a short pit. I don't hate this move.
I don't either. Look, if you're running, he's running in the top 5. If you lose a few positions on this in later on, you can gain it back. We know Nathan Paris is obviously fast, so I like this. Maybe split it. We're at 120 laps here. I imagine he's thinking about splitting it 40 and 40, or maybe going 50 and going 30 later on to be able to use the extreme pace of those tires for 30 laps. So, yeah, I don't like this. I like this as well. Brandon Frohnapple right behind him, also pitting in. This might also force other drivers to come in as well.
Tucker answers. He pits. He had to.
Lead. Adam Benefield inside Zach Millet here. He'll have it off of turn 4. Lap 122 being completed. Adam Benefield back in front yet again.
Just incredible the pace the 83 car has got on the long run. Better than anybody else on the racetrack. I'd love to see the tire wear comparison between the 83 and other cars.
Yeah, running right now 0.3 of a second faster than Zach Millet. Lap traffic in front of him now. Millet falling back to 0.3 of a second. Benefield again trying to work through lap traffic here as cleanly as he can. 37 laps on his and Millet's tires. Got to wonder when they're going to pit. Again, Dalton Tucker, Nathan Paris, Brandon Frohnapple, and others have already pitted here. You got to wonder when the 83 and Zach Millet will answer the call.
Well, and of course, they stayed out a little bit longer, so they ran another 5 to 10 laps or so. So they can keep going at this point in time. Other guys, they pitted, let's see, around 120, right? 121, 122.
Yeah.
So we'll see when the 83 and 31 come in. I would expect them in by lap 130.
Yeah, I agree. You can't stay out there too long, even though the running backs laps now both within the 31.1 range. So a lot of these guys that have pitted are running those 30.4s, 30.5s. So almost 7/10 faster. You can't let those guys run that for too long and you'll lose the lead in the half.
And here's the deal, right? These guys are good for 50 laps to a tank, thereabouts. So if you consider it 50 laps, you want to pit for the last time somewhere between 150 and 200. If these guys pit now, they're pitting again with about 25 laps to go if they run it out. Right, so you can see there's a window, there's a wide window right now of somewhere between 150 and 175 these guys can pit. You don't want to pit too late, you don't want to pit too early. I don't know. There's a lot of numbers right now. I feel like that meme. Because I see all the different numbers in front of me. These guys are putting here, these guys are putting here. We got cars coming in at lap 120, cars coming in at lap 130 possibly. My only question to you here, Scott, is why did nobody try to save fuel?
Well, here's the reason. I mean, we talked about it. It's 50 or a little bit more than laps on that on the fuel stint, but fuel isn't really what matters. What matters is these tires. We have obviously talked about it. We talked about Tucker saving. We talked about Millet saving. We talked about Benefiel saving. Those tires are more important than your fuel mileage, because here's the thing. You're going to run out of tires before you're going to run out of fuel. Your car is just going to get so slow that you're going to need more tires. And so that's why these drivers aren't thinking about fuel, why they aren't saving fuel, any of that range, because if a caution comes out, you're pitting. If you pitted, the only way you'd stay out on tires if you'd run under 5 laps. Any more than that, and you'd almost have to pit, or else you'd be taken over by the field. Like if we see a late race caution, I guarantee you almost everyone will pit, because if you stay out, you are going to the back of the field.
Well, it's lap 129. I said I expect these guys in by lap 130. So we expect them in within the next couple of laps, but question is, when do they actually pit? Here comes Millet's
coming.
So he's
coming in over the radio.
He's going to try and get a jump on Benefiel, hit a little bit earlier, and run a lap or two and try to jump ahead of that 83 car. And I guarantee you Benefiel is not at all concerned about it. So Benefiel, I'm sure, is on his own strategy, doing his own thing. And at this point, what Benefiel can do is potentially try to run this thing out. Well, let's see if he pits right here. Let's see if he answers the call this next lap around.
He's at full pace right now.
Here
Looks
he
like
comes.
he's going to slow. He's going to answer it. Coming in this lap here, down to pit road speed. Yeah, I don't think he's worried about Millet pitting one lap ahead. We saw earlier that we've seen that Millet will pit in. He'll get ahead of Benefiel. But then Benefiel, like we said, just so strong on that long run that he usually has always gotten back by the 31. I'm really interested to see in that last stint how it's going to work out when we get down near the end of this race, because I think it's going to be between these two. It's going to be between Benefiel and it's going to be between Millet. And the question is it going to end on a short run or is it going to end on a long run? Is there going to be a caution? Is there not?
And Benefiel could have either done this and answered the call, or he could have tried to run it out all the way and then pit again at the end of 50 laps here, trying to run it out these last two stints, and then short fill at the end and take 2 tires. And that's a viable strategy for somebody like a Joseph Tucker, who's got newer tires than the rest of these guys when they cycle out. Once he pits, he's got way newer tires and drives back through the field. And he was up to about 15th spot or so, right? After trying to come back from his early woes.
He was.
He could run this thing out. He'll have to pit somewhere. Well, actually, he's only got to pit one more time.
This might be the only reason someone would save fuel, right? We say this because he's on 33 laps of tires. If he can make it those 20 more laps within that 150 range, then he would only have to pit one more time, which would be one less pit stop than everyone else. But I will say it's viable, but it's dangerous, because if we get 1, maybe 2 green-white checkers, he might be out of fuel, but he would be able to save under caution. So I think it's a great play if the 39 was to stay out here, try to save fuel to make it into lap 150 and pit one last time than everyone else.
Might just have enough. And he'd be about the only one to be able to do it. By the way, Adam Benefiel back ahead of Zach Millet.
Wow. 3/10 gap between them. So right now, gotta wonder if it'll stay that way. Again, we saw the 83 in the middle of a run would pass the 31. So I wonder if he's going to be able to stay ahead of him here. Because if he stays ahead, he's obviously has a stronger car later on. So if he stays ahead here in the front portion, he could absolutely gain a great distance between the two of them.
It's worth mentioning, as most of this pit cycle has been worked out, we have 11 cars on the lead lap, 2 of which have yet to pit. Boy, this long run, these 2 leaders are making some hay. And Benefiel and Millet, they have got 2 seconds back to Paris, 3 seconds back to Paris, another second back to Brasfield, another second back to Tucker. They are out to lunch.
Yeah, they really It is really impressive what these two are putting up. We're not surprised. I mean, we're not surprised by the speed of either. Oh, we talked about it a lot, and we're going to continue to talk about it as long as he continues to perform, which I think he will. The strength of the 31 of Zach Millett. But Adam Benefiel has really come. He's come to dominate tonight. We saw Zach Millett earlier on in this race up front. And the reason we saw him out front for so long was because Benefiel was working through the field. He started all the way back in 35th. And so once he got back up to the front, he has been the only person that could challenge this 31 all day long. So extremely impressive by these two here in this race. 31 got a little bit of speed here. Is going to get caught by Ruisi, but he's gained in a little bit on this 83. Now under 1/10 the gap between.
Yeah, we were on board for that as Benefiel tried to work through that lap traffic. Went by the slower car of Matthew Taylor for a position, and then the slower lapped car of Brian Ruisi. We're coming up to 60 laps to go, and Joseph Tucker's absolutely trying to do it on one less stop. If this thing runs out, I think he's in the catbird seat.
Oh, big block here by the lap cars for the 83. They're too wide right in front of him. That's going to slow him up big time. Millett had nowhere to go either, so he's not going to lose the position, but that's not what you want to see in front of you if you're the leader. Two lap cars side by side.
Now, the only way Benefiel and Millett can try to cover this strategy up from Tucker is to try and take less fuel and take two tires. I think that's the only way they can try and cover it up. That would save them 9 seconds or so in the pit lane, but they're side by side for this second position and what will become the race lead.
I just think tires are so important that if you have a long run, I just don't think you can take two tires. You're going to lose too much time. It's not going to be worth it. You're going to lose it all within the run. Now, if we get near the end and we have a late race caution, that's when I'd start thinking about two tires. Obviously not for Benefiel or Zach Millett here because, again, they don't need to risk that. I mean, they are the two strongest cars tonight. I think no matter what, they will finish first and second. It just depends on which one of them will be first and which one will be second. But, you know, some of these other guys like Joseph Tucker, other guys trying to play a strategy, we get near the end of the run, have a late race caution, you can try two tires.
I said you would save 9 seconds. I was mistaken. It'd save about 5 seconds. It would be about a 9-second pit stop in the pit lane to take two tires. So 2 tires versus 4, you would save about 5 seconds in the pit box and be able to exit that much sooner. It would make up part of this gap, but I think at this point in time, these top two have made their bed. It's best for them to lie in it. Somebody who could try 2 tires, maybe a Nathan Paris, an Ian Brasfield, they could try 2 and leapfrog these guys and try to hold on after. But Charlotte is a weird place. There are actually ways to pass. I'd say there are actually ways to pass. There are ample ways to pass here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Just take a different line, try to do it. This is one of the rare mile and a halves where even if you have a car, a setup that just kind of natures itself out to be single file, you're going to find battles on the racetrack. You were able to pass here at Charlotte.
Yeah, it's really great. I'm absolutely loving it, what we're getting to see out of here. Looking back to the battle for, well, I say the race lead, the net race lead. Joseph Tucker still out front by 9 seconds. Again, he's trying to stay out, make it to where he can make one less pit stop than everyone else. But right now, the battle for second position, what will be the race lead once Tucker brings it to pit road, just over 1/10 of the gap. Now both clear of lap traffic, at least for a little bit. So now it's a battle of the tires.
There are some battles around the racetrack, and Tucker's in. This is early.
Yeah, this is early for him. I don't even think he'll be able to save enough pitting now. So this is surprising. He stayed out that long. I wonder if he realized that he wasn't going to be able to make it.
That's the only thing I can think is he must not have felt like he was good enough on fuel.
That's gonna lose him a good bit of track position that he did make up earlier, because all that time out on the speedway, making those laps that were significantly slower than others, he definitely would have lost a good bit of time.
Or these guys are better on fuel than we thought, I don't think that's the case, considering we saw them come in after about, well, yeah, they came in after about 60 laps earlier, and that was with cautions. He's either going to try and do a Hail Mary of saving, or he's going to have to splash and go later. I'm not sure which. I can't get a feel for what Joseph Tucker is going to try and do here.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, probably hope for a caution, but if the caution is here within the next 7 or so laps, then just about everyone will be able to make it to the end. So, yeah, I just don't think that worked out probably the way he was intending, because, I mean, there's no way he stayed out there 12 or so extra laps than everyone else if he wasn't trying to stay out to make an extra pit stop. I mean, maybe he was waiting for a caution there, and that didn't pan out, but I'm just not sure. But we both did not expect him in as early as he was.
Meanwhile, a battle for fourth, and Nathan Paris is in the wall. That's going to allow Tucker to go on by for that spot. So move Dalton Tucker into the fourth position as he chases down Ian Brasfield. Brasfield had recently gone by the 75 of Paris for third.
Yeah, Brasfield's been pretty quiet since the beginning. He had that incident with Noah Rainwater, and then he got loose and got in the wall. But since then, he's been running quietly in this top 5 all night long. So he's having a good night so far. He's kept it relatively clean, and he didn't damage his car. But relatively in the top 5 here, but Dalton Tucker not quite done with it. Man, I just can't understand Dalton Tucker tonight. Sometimes he's fast, sometimes he's slow. Like, I just don't know what he's doing. But, I mean, obviously he has pace. I thought he lost it earlier, but he's playing some games with us tonight.
That he is. Watching Dalton Tucker work here in the fourth position on Ian Brasfield for third. A couple of different lanes through the corner.
Yeah, we talked about Brasfield currently out by 1 position in the point standings, 1 point behind the 29 of Michael Moultrie. So he would love to stay in this top 5 as he's going to lose third position here. Not quite done with it, going to have that momentum on the outside like we've talked about all night long. Tucker able to send it up on the inside, going to slide up in front, take that position away. But again, Brasfield still in good position to get some great points here today in race number 5.
Yeah, just like earlier, we were talking about second place in points. Nathan Paris just wanting a top 10 and to keep points racing, and that feeling like a win. For Brasfield, anything in the top 5 would again be a good points day, even top 10. A good points day and probably feel like a win for him. At least in the point scenario, we can bring those points back up. Brasfield tied with Ryan Dingler, who's not here tonight.
Yeah, 21. I mean, Tucker, we've talked about it. We've seen him up front. We've seen him get an incident. So he's 10th right now in the standings. So he would love to have this great night as well. So all these drivers here, Tucker, Paris, and Brasfield, would all love to keep it here and get some valuable points.
And it's interesting looking across these standings, drivers that have had problems tonight. Matthew Taylor, Quentin Lee, Andon Mendenhall, Gary Bowman, Matt Lovett, all in the top 12 would make the playoffs right now, but are having bad nights. Guys that are having good nights that are in the playoffs right now, or even, you know what, let's go outside of the playoffs. Ian Brasfield, let's see, Joseph Tucker potentially. Kevin West was having a good night, and then Adam Benefield.
Benefield having a great night, still currently leading. Zach Millett is on his rear bumper like a mad hawk, trying to get us. Oh, a little loose there, gets on the apron, gets a little loose there. He's going to lose a bit of time here out of turn 2. That might be the first mistake we've seen by the 31 all night long. So loses this gap, loses the gap he had a little bit. Now under 3:10 since Jared Vachon, lap car on the outside. And Jared Vachon, we talked about him earlier. He's 8 laps down, but he's continued to move in front of some of those other cars that have gone out of this race. But again, Benefield currently 23rd in the point standings, leading this race. So great by him already.
Vachon is now at a 32nd spot. trying to chase down Lanning, who is 31st. That's a gap of 3 laps. Then Michael Wolf is up 1 more lap. There is a battle deep in this field between McColgan and Terrell. This is 2 laps down, these two drivers, fighting for 26th. We've also got Noah Rainwater and Dylan Cardenas. This is battling for 21st. They're both a lap down. Quentin Lee and Michael Matta are fighting.
Yeah, Matta also not having a great day, not what he wanted. Running 18th, not terrible, but he's 24th in the point standings. He's going to need to do better than that if he wants to break back up into this top 12. So currently 18th, that's Christian Light and Colin Terrell right in front of him, battling there for position. Again, Terrell, I believe he's 2 laps down, so he's not battling for position there, but Matta trying to gain here on Christian Light.
We also got
Matt Cherry.
Yeah, Matt Cherry and Joseph Tucker. Tucker flying by the 45 car. And now into the 12th position. Cherry drops down into 13th with Matthew Montgomery right behind.
And then that's the next car in front of him is Sean Boundy. He's 6 seconds away. Obviously running a really fast lap time right now. Again, pitted later than everyone else, so he's got great speed. And so he's going to catch that 34 car at some point. So right now, if he can keep this pace up, which obviously he can for now, looking like it could be a top 10 day for Joseph Tucker after having problems at the beginning. Brandon Frohnapple running in 8th right now, looking at 2 cars in front of him. One of those is Michael Moultrie there. That's position. Meanwhile, I believe it's Brandon Ruisi, and he is a lap down.
Riding on board with Brandon Frohnapple. Frohnapple chasing down Michael Moultrie, this for 7th position. One of the battles inside the top 10. Austin Wheeler is not far behind these two. In fact, Wheeler is right behind Frohnapple.
I've also got to say, we talked about our 2 leaders all night long. We've talked about them a lot. They are increasing their lead back to Dalton Tucker in 3rd position by an extreme amount. They are 11 seconds ahead of 3rd place.
That's huge. That's Vicente Salas at Coda huge.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I did not think anyone could get that big of a gap here tonight at a place like this, but shows you how strong those 2 cars are. That was Austin Wheeler in the 56, that black and pink machine, passing Brandon Frohnapple there for 8th. Now he'll go after Michael Moultrie in that 29 car, and it looks like he's got some good speed here late in this run. 4/10 faster than Frohnapple. Frohnapple coming into the pits. Is this the beginning of our first round of our final stops?
I think so.
As long as
He's
we don't
run
get a
34
caution,
laps. Some of these guys have run 40 laps. Brasfield has run 41. I would expect him in at any time. He's got 40 to go. He's run 41 laps. Paris is in. Frohnapple's in, of course. Paris coming in is a little bit early. I think he had a few more laps left in the tank.
I think so too. I mean, all these cars pitting right now, they're going to have just under 38 laps on their tires for this run to the finish. Sean Bounty in here in that 34 car. He was running in the top 10. He'll fall back during these pit stops during this cycle. 44, Matthew Taylor in. 9 car in. Matt Cherry in that 45 car in. Daniel Cardenas in. Everybody's coming in here. 08 of Gary Bowman. Noah Rainwater in the 05. All these cars in. And there's Brasfield. Tucker's still out on track, though. Now he comes to pit road.
You telling me Tucker just pitted?
Yep, just came in.
Dalton Tucker. Okay.
Yes, sorry, not Joseph. Joseph, if Joseph Tucker was in, I'd be very confused as well. That is the 21 of Dalton Tucker, if anyone was confused. Alfie Sharon Jr. also pitting in.
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Zach Millett continues on the racetrack in second position. 2 wins on the season, points leader. Has done just about everything he's needed to do to put himself in early contention for this championship. Of course, he'll have to go through the points reset when the chase begins. But what a season it's been to get things started here for him.
Yeah, it's been absolutely great for him, but he's met his match here tonight, at least at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Adam Benefiel, long run, near the end of a long run now 1.5 seconds ahead of Zach Millett. So he's been very strong in all of our races that we've had so far, but at least at Charlotte, he's met his match with Adam Benefiel. You've got to wonder, can Benefiel bring that to other tracks? Can he bring it to Iowa next week? Can he bring it to Indianapolis? Can he bring it to other places like Atlanta, New Hampshire, Darlington, Pocono, and Richmond? Can he bring himself up into that top 12? Because with this run tonight, if he can keep that up, he'll absolutely make it back here.
Time will tell for Benefiel.
Adam Benefiel pitting in now.
He's run about 36 laps. This would put him with 33 to go. Not a bad call to come in here. This is going to leave Zach Millett on the racetrack, surprisingly.
Millett will try to run longer. Obviously, he knows that Benefiel has the advantage on the long run. He's got to do something different. If he pits there with Benefiel, he'll have the same effect. He'll still be behind him. But if he runs maybe a little bit longer here, maybe gets a caution, or he just uses fresher tires near the end, he's got to try something different, because if you do the same thing as the leader, you'll stay behind the leader.
You know, he's in a pretty unique position. He could try and gamble here and stay on the racetrack in case of a caution.
We talked about it. Him and Benefiel had an 11-second lead back to the 21 of Dalton Tucker. So he's got some time he can give away here.
Well, that, and he's got 160 points in the standings.
That as well. So he's got 2 different types of cushions.
He's got nearly a race on second place. He can sit back right now and kind of play a different strategy game and hope a caution comes out, try and get a 3rd win on the season just in case. I mean, you may as well.
Not a bad call. He's still got probably about 7-8 laps in the tank at least. Obviously, he's running 30.1s right now, so not a terrible lap for 40 laps on your tires. So he's got a little bit that he can stay out. Try to gamble a little bit. Man, you can see him just loose off the corner. Shows you that those tires are fading, even though he's still fast. Oh,
Brasfield to the wall.
I thought I heard tires squealing behind Millett. I thought that's what I heard. No caution. He'll get out of the wall, but he is running slow here. We talked about him not having issues all day long, except the front portion of this race. Well, here's an issue for him.
The problems for Brasfield. Oh, and he must have had some big issues. You know what? He had a pit penalty. He was speeding on pit lane or something. Look at that pit box time. He runs in 25th, 3 laps down. That's 40 seconds extra on top of the 14 seconds it takes for a pit stop. I would have to guess he was caught speeding on entry, and this is going to completely change his day.
Yep. That's going to relegate him.
He might get a top 20. That's if he makes up about 7 or 8 seconds. That's not going to happen, I don't think. Not in 30 laps.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's got a 6/10 gap there to the 12 Cardenas, but then a almost 6-second gap in 23rd place car of Casey Knighton. So 31 is Zach Millett. Just saw coming off of pit road here. He is currently, well, he was your leader. Oh, he's spinning.
Zach Millett, whoa.
Sideways, exiting pit road, trying to get just a little much. That's going to increase the gap between him and Benefiel.
Benefield's down in turn 3. Zach Millett is now entering turn 3.
That's going to increase the gap that was between them. Again, he would have lost time on Benefiel by staying out longer, and with that slide coming off of the pit exit, he's going to lose even more.
So searching for a battle to cover. The first battle I see is Alfie Sharon Jr. and Sean Boundy. Boundy in that 34 car ahead of Adam Benefiel. Alfie Sharon Jr. in the 99 right behind Adam Benefield. Benefield's in a sandwich of a battle for 10th. And has Sharon Jr. tentatively 1 lap down. When they cycle out, Boundy would be on the lead lap, but only just.
Yeah, just barely. I mean, he's going to, Benefield's going to get him here in the next lap. He's going to get him right here probably in turn 3. Again, like you said, Joseph Tucker's still out. He's got 30 laps on his tires, longer than everyone else. He stayed out earlier, so he's going to be able to run longer. You see Benefield in second position, passes the 34 Sean Boundy. When the 39 car does eventually come to pit road, because he will have to pit again, that will give Adam Benefield back the lead. As he's right there. He's being passed by all these cars because, again, everyone else is pitted but that 39.
I think Benefield's a lock to win this race at this point in time. Even if Tucker's able to stay out on fuel, I think he's going to get outrun by the 83 car. He might be able to outrun Zach Millett, though, who is still 12, 13 seconds back. So,
I still think there's 25 laps to go.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either, but if Tucker somehow got enough fuel,
yeah,
you got to think about where he might slot in. Caution! McColgan! A big crash with Richard Lanning.
This changes everything.
Oh,
Joseph
my
Tucker,
gosh.
This is what he wanted. Everyone else, Adam Benefield, 8-lap old tires. Zach Millett, only 4 laps old. He could stay out here.
And everybody's going to have tires in the pit lane. I think you have to come in. Everybody's going to have a set of tires left.
Zach Millett has had a lot of speed. Does he stay out and stay in front of Benefield? Or does he come in and pit and try to do it off of pace? With this run, when we get the green flag, most likely, again, we're looking here at what happened. Austin McColgan up in the wall, almost stopped. He's got nowhere to go. And
wow! This looks that was Richard Lanning. This looks exactly like a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series crash from a handful of years ago. A truck had come to a stop on the outside of the turn 4 and got absolutely pummeled by another truck coming on by. I forget the drivers involved. That have to go on YouTube and find a replay. This looks exactly like that from a handful of years back. Something happened to McColgan.
Yeah, that's one of those things. If you stop like that, you got to pull your button and pull at the pit road, because something like that can happen. Yeah, it just gets high up in turn 4 and is very slow on the wall. And it looks like he just comes to a stop. I'm not sure. He's turning all the way to the right. Something broke on that car.
Wow.
Before the contact. So Austin McColgan out of Canada and gets pummeled from the back. But like I was saying, Millett, we're going to have to see. He's got 6 laps on his tires. A lot of cars coming in.
Tucker comes in. Benefield's in.
Fronapple as well.
Millett's in.
Come in. Yeah, like
Benefield's first off. Then Millett, then Tucker.
So this is going to leave all these drivers here. Fresh tires. When we get the green, we'll have just under 20 laps to go. This erases the entire lead that Benefield and Millett had, and the gap that Benefield had on Millett. And it's going to be a short run, Andrew.
Oh boy.
That is the last thing that Adam Benefield wanted to see.
Well, he's been this good on the long run. We'll see how good he is on the short run now. Let's go back to what happened with the 58 car and Richard Lanning.
He's running the top here. That's a 2 of Quentin Lee right below him. It looks like he just doesn't. Well, yeah, that's running through 1 and 2, excuse me.
And here's McColgan having his issue. We'll flip back to Lanning.
Seeing here, still running the top. Yeah, he just looks like he doesn't see him, but running the top there, I'd imagine he'd be able to see him from a good bit away, that maybe he could turn down to the bottom.
Let's go cockpit camera.
Cockpit camera. I was going to say the roof. Oh, yeah. I don't know. That's odd. I would have think that he would have been able to see him.
That looks to me like he's just not looking far enough down the track. Right here, you want your eyes. 1 second here. You want your eyes to be somewhere up in this region, and you would see that car on the outside.
Yeah, you would see him way sooner than this.
that looks like he's got his eyes either on a different part of his screen or who knows what.
Yeah.
But if I bring this back here, I will slow it down to half speed. Right now, you want your eyes to be somewhere around the A-pillar. You're looking ahead. You're looking ahead down the racetrack because you want to line up for the inside lane.
Yeah.
Usually. Or even if you want to be on the outside, you want to look on the outside, but still way further down the racetrack. You'll be looking ahead. You would have seen that car in the outside lane. I don't know if he was looking under the monitor, if he was looking on a different part of the monitor, or what was going on, but
He got distracted by something.
something was going on there for Richard Lanning, and he was not looking in the right place.
Yeah. Well, that threw a wrench in Benefield's plans.
Yes and no. It definitely is going to make this race a little bit harder, but he has a chance to calm down here, reset, and go back after it. Yes, we're probably going to have some more cautions, but this also means as long as he stays ahead on these restarts, as I think we're likely to get at least one more caution out of all of this.
Probably.
All he's got to do is play the restart game.
Yeah. Well, we saw earlier when he chose the bottom lane, he just selected the bottom. And so we saw earlier Miller, when he was on the bottom, was able to get a great launch. But again, we're going to have a short run here. And we know Benefield is extremely strong, but he's strong in the long run. He can hold it for the short run. We saw earlier after a tire stint, at the beginning of a stint, when he got out in front of the 31, he was able to hold it. But again, I think Millet is going to be given all he's got here. No reason for them to really save. We're going to have, again, under 20 laps. So you can absolutely use these tires here near this end because it's, again, going to be a short run to the finish.
Well, this may be the final caution. It may not be, but we'll have 20 laps to go when we restart. It looks like it'll be the next time by. Just so many lap cars lining back up that... oh my gosh! I mean, we've got five rows of double up, and everybody else is single file from taking a wave around.
Well, Benefil and Millet were so strong that the 11th place car was a lap down. Every car from 11th on back was a lap down.
I was curious to see how many cars we'd have on the lead lap at the end of this race if it had just continued green. Unfortunately, Austin McColgan has that problem and gets absolutely pummeled from behind. One car peeling off here. That looks to be the 4 of Cody Ellis. Coming to a stop. Or maybe not a stop.
Down right now.
I think he's taking an EOL, and he's going to the rear along with Jared Wishon.
Jared Wishon, like we said, big damage earlier. He's not bad pace, but again, he's still got a damaged vehicle there in that Ford Mustang, that 27 Sim Racing Connect car.
By the way, Brasfield has parked it. He'll finish 31st tonight. Jared Wishon has gone by him. Michael Wolf is the next car ahead for Jared Wishon, 3 laps ahead. Cody Ellis is 4 laps ahead of him. But this will turn things right back over to the 83 car of Adam Benefield. Zach Millett now will get to feel what it's like to restart on the outside of the front row. Then Joseph Tucker. Then Nathan Paris and Dalton Tucker. Daniel Wiles, Brandon Frohnapple, Michael Moultrie, Austin Wheeler, and Brian Ruisi is lining up there on the outside. Is that Ruisi? Yes, it is. Here we go. Geico restart zone. Green flag, back in the air. Oh, Joseph Tucker sideways, going to come down and get into Dalton Tucker, but he hangs on to the race car, importantly.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how that wasn't a wreck. Tucker loose out of turn 2. Oh, Harris loose, sideways, crash with Daniel Wiles.
Who's going to have the lead? Benefield slipped up. Millett may have gotten it.
Oh, the 44 piles into Wiles. That's going to be day done for the 3.
We're waiting to see who picks up the pace car. It looks like it'll be the 83 car of Benefield.
There was a lot that happened there. The 3 brings it to pit road. We're going to have to dive down to figure out what happened here. Obviously, Looking at Nathan Paris here in that 75 car. Joseph Tucker, this started back out of turn 2, got loose, kept it clean. Looking here again, car on the top, white car, the 75. Just pushes it a little far here, gets loose in the center of the corner. Daniel Wiles nowhere to go. Comes back on the track, and then the 44 right here piles in.
Wow. Light got him first. Christian Light at the 96.
Yeah. So it looks like the 75 was just pushing a little hard there near the center there. Started spinning. Wiles had nowhere to go.
These guys haven't restarted like this in over 100 laps.
Yeah. I was hoping that we weren't going to get an incident. We almost did twice there, but I'm not surprised. I mean, we just saw, oh yeah, look at that right rear. I mean, that is destroyed for the 3 of Daniel Wiles. He's got it parked here 2 laps down. That stinks. He's having such a great day. He ran top 10 all night.
Christian Light was the first car to get into the stop number 3. A lot of cars passed by. He was not able to.
Cars start checking up. Oh, goodness.
And Martinek came back up the racetrack.
Yeah. Light made it through barely. I mean, barely. And then Martinek had a problem. Looks like he was tagged. 5 and 3 Daniel Wiles in the first bumper. Came back up the track. Looking here from the driver cockpit view of the 44, made contact with Wiles. Again, wreck happening way up front here. Yeah, the light crosses in front of him and he just can't see.
Well, there's Taylor working out of the pit lane. Nathan Paris in the pits, taking repairs. What a turnaround for Paris. Was having such a good day inside the top 5 and now down into 20th.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think, one of the worst finishes he's had. I want to say he hasn't finished outside the top 15 yet.
Well, he is second in the standings, so that means he's got to be finishing somewhere good, right?
And that's what I'm thinking. So I think, again, we haven't looked back at all the exact stats, but again, Nathan Paris, that 75 car, running second. So he's obviously had great finishes here within these first 4 races. Let's
count the cars now that have had problems in the top 12. Paris has had them. Matthew Taylor's had them. He was just involved in that. Let's see. Daniel Wiles now is out with that crash. Quentin Lee has had some problems.
He's been running in the back. Yeah, he's 16th right now.
Jeremy Brown, of course, has had some problems. Mendenhall's out. Gary Bowman's had some problems. Dalton Tucker's up here. Matt Lovett's had some problems. Oh boy.
Moultrie's up here as well. So only 4 cars within the top 12 have not had issues tonight. And so
let's count the other side too.
I was gonna say
Brasfield's out. Dingler didn't show up.
We're not here tonight.
McGill didn't show.
Light just had a problem.
Russell Black
is out. Washawn's 8 laps down. Tucker's doing well now. Ellis is out. West is out. Matta, he's in 18th, so it's not bad. But that's, again, only 3 cars there within the top 24 and through 13 through 24. So this is why the race has been so good tonight. It's been about survival. And Benefil, Matta, Tucker, Millett, Boundy, Dalton Tucker, and Michael Moultrie have all been guys that have been able to recover or avoid most of these problems that a lot of these top 24 have been involved in.
And I think this perfectly illustrates just how chaotic this point standings graphic is going to be for Iowa next week.
I love it. I think Dingler, Wirtz, Holden McGill, all of them are going to be below top 24.
Absolutely. A lot of these guys will be.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Washawn,
every week.
At least Washawn, Black, and Light, for example, they're still here. They're going to earn some points. But man, this is going to be a unique graphic next week, that's for sure. And next, as mentioned, we head out to Iowa Speedway on November 20th, the final race before Thanksgiving. It'll be 195 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Iowa, it's a difficult track here in the sim. It's bumpy in turn 1 and turn 2. I got to race in the league that I raced earlier on this year, and it's a tough track. But here, we've still got to finish it out at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
14 laps to go, this time by into the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Down the back straightaway, Zach Millett slides back. He has now got Tucker alongside. Here comes the other Tucker. 3 wide into turn 3. Here we go.
He's going to absolutely paint the line here. Gets a little squirrely.
Thrown apple sideways, Bounty in the wall.
Man.
Matt Cherry, hard in the fence. Alfie Sharon Jr. with him.
Oh, Michael Matta spinning a little bit after the caution here.
They ran this race completely green last season that is. This evening has been anything but. Here's the 30, he got loose. Sean Bounty then right behind, gets pounded into, and then, oh my gosh, Sharon Jr. hit him.
Bounty.
It did. Bowman gets a piece.
Owen gets a hit of it. Golly. I can't believe Dalton Tucker didn't go around, though. Oh, that's going to be day done for Matt Cherry as well.
Likely. If it wasn't off of the outside wall impact, it was when he got hit by Bowman.
And that was Quentin Lee that he contacted with.
I could see Bowman knocked out the right rear toe. Let's see here. So we were looking for the 34, looking for the 99, Sharon Jr. And Matt Cherry along with him. Wow.
Yeah. So a lot going on there. That was really impressive from Joseph Tucker to be able to back out, not spin Dalton Tucker up front there.
Yeah, let's see that replay as well.
I want to check that out because, again, you see, we talked about it. Joseph Tucker went down for 3 wide here, wasn't able to hold it. The 21 was pushing a little bit here through the center. I think he started to get loose and then Tucker was gaining. Yeah.
Wow, that was close. Pushing.
He blinked out there for a second. Lost a few positions, but Turner did a great job of not turning him around. He got his position back now.
On board with Matt Cherry. This is about to be a very large impact.
Yeah. Goes down to the bottom here on the inside of Alfie Sharon Jr. Sharon Jr. gets loose. Oh, yeah, just comes down, hooks 45. Oh, my gosh. It's been a day of survival here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Attrition's the name of the game.
I've got to say it, and obviously we'll talk it for post-race thoughts. This has been an excellent race. I don't think we've seen too many cautions. You know, we had that great green flag run, and near the end here we're getting a little bit of action. And we had, I mean, during the green flag run, I loved it with the tire strategy, cars being able to pass no matter where they were. This is, and all thanks to Team Conti and the setup that they brought here, and a thanks to these drivers for being able to use it as well as they have been.
This has been a pretty fantastic race, I gotta say. And I know the caution count is slightly elevated. This is also a slightly elevated number of laps we're running this evening. 200 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway is a long time. It's half of what the NASCAR guys run. It was scheduled to be 240 laps, I believe. 260. Right? 260. So it was scheduled to be a little bit longer.
Benefils held it these past 2 restarts.
And we're going to have inside of 10 laps to go. It's going to be... I don't want to say it's a mini golf at this point for Adam Benefield, but it's getting close. With these restarts the way they are, all he's got to do is just nail the restarts Just nail that first lap and have a decent gap after that first lap, and he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. I mean, we see how loose these guys are getting. It's difficult to nail these restarts. It's difficult to get that first lap in on cold tires. These guys have heat cycled them a couple of times, sure, but it's still not going to be easy to dive off into turn 3 at full speed and hang on to the rear of the race car.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Dalton Tucker, Nathan Parrish, Sean Bounty, Alvy Sharon Jr., all of them not being able to hold it, fighting for position on these restarts. And you've got to think, if Zach Millett can get a good jump and able to get back to Benefield, what will he do? I mean, obviously they're going to race clean, but Millett's going to be going for the win. And if that means he's going to have to get near the bumper, he's going to do it. So you're going to have to be looking for that. And we've seen bumper contact, stuff like that. Cars can get loose real easy. So you got to, if you're the 83 at Benefield, you got to keep a car's length. At least.
You know who's loving these cautions? These crashes, these cars exiting the race.
Oh, I'm going to say the 27 of Jeremy Shaw.
Yeah, sure is. He's passed Mark Martinek. He's passed Daniel Wiles, Ian Brasfield. He's about to pass Alfie Sharon Jr. And if we get another one, just imagine how many more cars he might pass.
That's right. That's
he might get a top 25 out of this.
Why you never quit. Never give
Absolutely.
up.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. Geico restart zone one more time. There goes the iRacing.com safety car to the relative safety of pit lane. Green flag on the way. Geico restart zone. There it is. 9 laps to go in the Conti setup. Team Conti setups. There we go. 400 at Charlotte. It's been a long night. Nearly forgot who we were here for. 9 laps to go, though.
Look at the 56 car, Austin Wheeler, battling in the top 5. Really impressive.
Oh, he's getting free, though. Real loose, hangs on to the race car.
Right as I was saying it, beautiful save. I mean, awesome there. He's going to stay in the top 10. He's only going to drop back down to 8. But I thought he was around for sure right there. But still, he's still having a great night.
Out of Benefield leads. That was 8 laps to go. Yeah, Austin Wheeler might be coming at you for the commentator curse here in a few. Battle for third starting to shape up. Joseph Tucker, Dalton Tucker. Dalton Tucker around the outside, looking like he's got something here.
He's got a good run here. He's going to bring it down to the outside now. It looked like he was going to poke inside, but 39 cut that off. Now to the outside, he'll try to run with this momentum around the 39 of Tucker.
And let's not ignore the notifications you just saw at the top of the race, or top of the screen, as there's a crash in the back. No rainwater, caution.
Oh no, rainwater.
The notification, by the way, we'll cover that quickly, was Adam Benefield going fastest, and then right after, Zach Millett went faster.
Yeah, they were just under 0.2 of a second between the two. Millett was catching up. No rainwater. Man, he's had it tough tonight.
Trying to get the car going. He's got broken toe links in the rear. That car just isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, no, that's going to take him a little bit. He's trying to get it rolling. Yeah, he's been through it tonight.
We go back a ways to see exactly what happened here. Was racing with the 74 of Cash, the 56 of Wheeler. And Cash just pinched him down. Cash pinched him down and Rainwater got loose. Brown was on the inside there. Nothing Brown could have done. And then ricochets off of Matta and Taylor. And Taylor got the insert there on the wall. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, Rainwater, we saw him earlier in this race running in the top 5. Had some issues. He's now back there within the top 10 battling, because we saw Austin Wheeler fell to the 8th position. So this was a battle for, I believe it was 8 between these three. And the 74 car just pinches down on the 05 enough to get him loose. And all this extracurricular contact put him in the inside wall. That relegates him back to the 22nd position.
That was Rainwater's perspective. He is now in the pit lane and likely going to be out of this race.
Hey, we haven't seen him give up all night, so...
Well, these are more cars that Jared Wishon could try and pass.
Yep.
Though he might need a green-white checker to start passing some of them. He'll be 7 laps down, and these guys going out of the race now will be 1 or 2 laps down at most.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a green-white checker.
Let's see, this caution, we're at 5 to go the last time by, so we're coming to 4. We might have a natural green-white checkered here. If we get another caution, that would put us into overtime territory. And let's just refresh the overtime rules in case we get there. We did this last night as well, and it warded off the evil thing known as a green-white checkered restart. But going over the overtime rules, we'll get 2 laps, and this might be a natural attempt at a green-white checker, it might be a natural attempt at 3 to go. Regardless, if we get an overtime restart, it'll be a green-white checkered restart, 2 laps, a green lap and a white lap. Checkered flag will end it. If the green lap is completed, the race is official. No matter what happens on the white flag lap, the race is over. If the green lap is not completed, we'll try the restart again. After all attempts are used, a caution can end the race if a caution comes out on that green lap. That was 4 to go. And we're not doubled up, so we're going to have a natural attempt at a green-white checkered.
Yeah, and we have 3 normal attempts in this series, so here, this would technically be 4 if we get one after this. Again, a natural green-white checkered is obviously when we get 2 to go, that we'll go to the end for 200 laps.
Well,
Benefield picks the bottom.
As I would imagine. He's been good on these restarts. He had 1 slip up. Remember that Daniel Wiles crash where Benefield nearly lost the lead. Millet nearly got him. But I think that was I think a slip up down in turns 3 and 4, not off of the restart. So we'll have to see what happens here. These guys will double up with 3 to go and have a natural attempt at a green-white checkered. And up front, how about Fronapple and Moultrie?
Yeah,
they're 5th and 6th.
Moultrie's been up and down all day long. He started 37th. He started in the back. And he's been running pretty much the mid-pack all day long. We've seen him involved in a few incidents, no big damage for him. But now he's running in the 6th position. And Fronapple's been in the top 10 all day. And this has been great for Fronapple. He qualified well. He was 1st in practice. He qualified, I believe it was 5th. Yeah, he started 5th in this race. And he's been pretty much around that spot all day long.
Been fun watching the 30 car. Let's see what he can do on this restart. I want to invite you all to follow along with Pit Stop TV on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and X. Who knows, you might see a clip of this one afterwards. If this restart has just enough excitement, I have to put it on social media because this could be crazy. Geico restart zone waiting for our front bunch out of turn number 4 this time by. Adam Benefield with the race lead. Zach Millett 2nd place. Then Dalton Tucker and Joseph Tucker. Here we go. Natural attempt at a green-white checkered. 2 laps to go at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Green flag back in the air. Zach Millett did not get a good restart.
That allows the 21 be on his inside here out of turn 2. If they're able to battle, that'll allow Benefield to get away. Millett will clear Dalton Tucker into 2nd now.
Here comes Dalton Tucker, white flag in the air, this time by. 1 lap to go, crashing. There's the caution. We're going to overtime.
Oh my goodness, that's Austin Wheeler.
It is.
I really thought we were going to make it. Oh goodness, I really thought we were going to make it.
Me too. I thought we had it in the bag there. But here's Austin Wheeler. He was 7th on the restart. Got loose there in 3 and 4. Christopher Cash got in the wall, came back down, and boom.
Yeah, Cash just came down out of line. And the 56 was there. So that's 2 incidents now caused by the 74 of Cash. One of them early, I mean, they're both racing incidents, but he didn't mean to do it, but it happened. Moving now along with this roof cam here. 56 gets loose. The 74 goes high, gets the wall, cuts down to get off the wall. The 56 was there. '56, I believe, came back down in the front straightaway and got tagged by somebody else.
He did. Yeah, there was a red, white, and blue car, which there's a few of those in the field.
It might have been is the 44 still in this race?
I think it was the 50 of Ruisi. I think. That or it wasn't Colin Terrell, I don't think, but he's back in the pit lane.
It might have been Terrell. He's running some red today.
There's Casey Knighton. He's been real quiet this afternoon.
Yeah, it's got the lead lap earlier. He's been on the lead lap, and I think he's still on it.
There's Matthew Taylor.
He is. Yeah, it was either Taylor or Terrell. They're flashy red, white, and blue cars.
Gary Bowman also in the pit lane. So a lot of cars in the pits right now. Actually, I think it was this car right up here. No, Wiles. Oh my gosh, 1,300 seconds in the pit lane. It wasn't him.
Oh, yeah, no, he parked it a long time ago. This is why I wonder why Brassfield parked it. I think he had a car that could have continued, and if he would have, he would be up in the top 25 now.
You and me both.
Jared Wishon now up to 27th. Noah Rainwater 6 laps down. He's still in the pit lane. I think Noah Rainwater parked it, like you said, so he will pass Noah Rainwater here.
That'll be 26th.
So yep. So again, what could have been a 34th, 35th place finish will be 8 positions better. But looking up front, this is what the battle we've talked about all night long. 83 of Benefiel, 31 of Millett. Millett 2 wins on the season. Adam Benefiel winless so far, looking to make it 1 in the bank tonight.
And while we await this next restart, and we await the overall result here at Charlotte, I want to thank those partners that helped this series be a possibility. SimWrapMarket.com, Apex Sim Racing, IMB Racewear, Moza Racing, RS Button Boxes, Team Conti Sim Performance, this evening's presenting partner, Trackbar Media, The Butt Kicker, Extreme Graphics, and Cyber Edge Hosting. This league would not be possible without you bunch, and we thank you all for it. We thank you for what you do behind the scenes to allow us to go racing on Wednesday evenings like this and have one of the best leagues on the iRacing.com platform. These broadcasts would not be possible without Pit Stop TV's partners, Whiplash Simcams, ATVO, CC's Business, and Cody Williams Design. And this should be the 1 green signal this time by. There it is. Caution lights have been extinguished.
Yeah. Christopher Cash, like we talked about, up to 7th. Jeremy Brown, up to 8th. So we can cross him off, at least for now. Again, we've still got a few laps to go. For now, we can cross him off our list of guys who have not done well tonight, because now he's doing well again. Michael Matta, he was in 18th earlier when we were looking at the list. Now he's in 9th. So improvement from these guys. Nathan Paris spun out earlier. He's now up to 12th. Matt Cherry, somehow still in this race, is in 15th.
A little more information on the Ian Brassfield situation. He parked it because of wheel damage that made the setup undrivable, in his words.
Ah, gotcha. Well, that's understandable.
And an earlier pit stop where he brought a lot of the field in early was actually due to a fuel bug, as he put it, on his side. And he just happened to fake the rest of the field into pitting with him.
Well, that was lucky.
For him, yes.
That luck streak didn't last long.
That would be correct. Here we go. Geico restart zone coming up. iRacing.com safety car back to the relative safety of pit lane. Into the Geico restart zone we go. Let's try this thing one more time. Overtime rules in the bottom right of your screen. Green flag back in the air, and Millet went nowhere. Dalton Tucker, second place now. He's going to have a shot here at Adam Benefiel. Millet falls back to third. Joseph Tucker in fourth. Brandon Frohnapple in fifth. White flag coming this time.
Millet just didn't time it right. Dalton Tucker holding second. Millet now coming back at it. Adam Benefiel coming to the white flag. He'll take it. One lap to go. No matter what happens, this will be the end.
White flag is out. Brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Through turn number 2, down the backstretch, Adam Benefiel just needs to round 2 more corners. Montgomery puts it in the wall hard. They're going to crash behind. A massive accident out of turn number 2, but it's official. We're racing back to the stripe, and out front, it's going to be Adam Benefiel from Team Conti Racing Setups to the checkered flag and victory lane in the Team Conti Racing Setups 400.
Great battle of the line there. Dalton Tucker brings it home second. After a great restart, Millet is relegated to third. And Joseph Tucker, after running up front earlier today, in the back all the way in 36th, brings it home fourth. Brandon Frohnapple rounds out the top 5. But the story is Adam Benefiel, race winner.
Adam Benefiel's going to be feeling pretty good about that, I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah. It's going to bring him up largely in the point standings here tonight.
So happy he burns out into the wall. And he's deserved it. He deserves it, man. He worked his tail off all night long. That was effort put in through the course of 200 laps for Adam Benefiel. He's going to tow back to the pit lane. You see the fireworks go off out of turn number 2. Signature fireworks here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They use them a lot over the summer. Let's go back, though, and take a look at the unofficial race results after 205 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Adam Benefiel, of course, with the race win. But everybody else files in behind. Dalton Tucker there in the second spot. Zach Millet third. And just barely over Joseph Tucker and Brandon Frohnapple for the top 5. Michael Moultrie, 6th place. Jeremy Brown, redemption this evening. While it wasn't for a race win that he should have had at Las Vegas, it is for 7th here at Charlotte. That'll help him out a bunch. Nathan Paris at 8th. What a recovery drive there. Christopher Cash hangs on for 9th. And Matt Cherry. How in the world did Matt Cherry finish 10th after the crash he had? I'm impressed.
I don't know. Bringing it up in 11th is that 96 Christian Light. Sean Bounty in the 34 in 12th. Michael Matta rounds it out 13th. 14th position will be that 28 car Casey Knighton, quiet all night. Him and Cardenas both quiet 14th and 15th. Gary Bowman in the 08, we saw him in a couple incidents. He'll finish 16th. Quentin Lee in 17th. In 18th, we'll have the 44 Matthew Taylor. Matthew Montgomery rounds out those cars on the lead lap. Then back there is the 20th Colin Terrell in 20th.
21st is Cody Ellis. 22nd, Brian Ruisi. Michael Wolf there on the 23rd spot. Austin McColgan, 24th. Austin Wheeler and Jared Washon, 26th place. What a recovery for Jared Washon. Able to go from 39th to 26th by just staying in the race. That's 13 positions. That's a bunch of points he's able to grab. Noah Rainwater, 27th. Alfie Sharon Jr., 28th. Daniel Wiles and Mark Martinek complete your top 30.
Well, back there in 31st is Ian Brassfield. Heard him had a wheel problem after the incident he was involved in. Richard Lanning in the 58 comes home 32nd. 33rd is Edward Jurgen. 40 laps down, just can't quite seem to avoid these incidents for him. caught up in it yet again. 41, and Matt Lovett brings it home 34th. Russell Black and in Mendenhall in 35th and 36th. Spencer Ray disconnects early for unknown reasons. He'll end up 37th. Sean Lodison here in the 24 car ends up 38th. And Kevin West, running in the top 5 early on in this race, disconnects. He is the last car running.
Well, we'll have a chat with our race winner, Adam Benefiel, this evening. What a day it was for that Team Conti number 83 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. A checkered flag and...
I was like, shit, it might work.
Well,
Sorry, I forgot that.
Well, Adam Benefiel, a checkered flag for you this evening. Sounds like you haven't won a race in a while, but you win a race here this evening at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And, of course, the Team Conti Sim Performance 400, Team Conti Sim Performance car goes to victory lane. It's just fitting. It felt like a night that was suited to you, but how did you get to victory lane?
Well, you know, these longer races play into my favor, and I like it a lot. We really haven't had an opportunity to do that this season. Luckily, was able to do it tonight, and decided not to qualify and just take our time with it, and worked out. But yeah, you know, it helped having I had Conti in my ear all night, kind of working with me, and then Brandon Hastings too. So I kind of had the whole 50% of the TC crew over there kind of helping me out.
Well, that's certainly good to have to back you up, but you did the work, the hard work on the racetrack. Were you concerned at all about Zach Millett and what he could have done on these restarts?
Yes, the restarts, yes, 100%. I kind of liked the way that we were, you know, the green flag deal. I know that I haven't really made a whole lot of noise yet this season, but I kind of pay attention to who does what. And I know Zach is fast, short mid run, and then if Dalton wouldn't have gotten in trouble, I knew that he was going to be. He's kind of got the same driving style as I do, from what I've picked up in the short time of being a part of this league. So I kind of figured he would be there on the back end, and then Joseph is just kind of like that wild card. You know, he can be fast whenever. So. Yeah, there at the end, I was kind of managing. I was pulling out everything. I was digging deep in the bag of tricks, trying to keep Zach on his toes and keep him guessing on the restart.
And we saw you with that long run pace that just outpaced the entire field. Do we see you come back with that kind of pace, that kind of strength at Iowa or another track similar here to Charlotte?
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's normally my style on here. You know. Not really trying to sound arrogant, but that's just how I race. I can't bust off the short run speed like some of these guys on here. I got a lot of real world experience, and it's hard to break 20 years of that on here. So I kind of just pace it and manage my tires. That's kind of my style. But I think so. I mean, you know, the schedule coming up is tracks that are right up my alley. It's just all about if we get green flag runs. If we get green flag runs, I think we can be in contention week in and week out.
Well, it's a checkered flag for Adam Benefiel here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations on this win and potentially more on the way.
Hey, I appreciate it. And I got to say thanks to Team Conti Sim Performance. Doing big things over there. We just launched our integration with G61. Garage 61, and with our data platform, it's kind of like SMT. So if you become a member of that and get on that program, you could go back and look exactly what I was doing tonight in this race. All my inputs, where I was letting out, how long I was letting it roll, how much steering angle I had in it. All that stuff will tell you right there on Garage 61 with the Team Conti Sim Performance. They paired together and trying to help everybody as a whole, and that's all we want to do. We're not here trying to, you know, set the world on fire with world records and worrying about winning, you know, careless open splits or whatever. We're just here to try to make everybody as a whole and help everybody get better, and the speed comes from that.
There you go, Adam Benefiel and Team Conti trying to help you go faster. Adam, congratulations once again. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, bud.
Second place this evening is going to be Dalton Tucker in that 21 car, and it was a lot of fun watching Dalton. We never really knew what he was up to, but Scott, here he is.
Yeah, Dalton Tucker is here with us tonight. And Dalton, you got me?
Yep, I got y'all.
Man, what a race tonight. Look, I got to start out with the middle of the race because you were confusing me for a little bit. We saw you earlier. You were within the top two, and after the first round of pit stops, you started dropping back. Slowly, you dropped back about the 7th position behind Brandon Frohnapple, Nathan Paris, and others. And I was really wondering what had happened because earlier we saw you battling with Millet on the first stint. Were you saving tire there?
I wish I could say that, but I honestly believe I just simply ran out of talent in the middle and completely forgot how to drive that track. I had my steering pinion from the qualifying, which was extremely tight, and I meant to change it down to a looser one so I wouldn't kill the right front. And I think me forgetting how to drive it, plus that, it killed me in the middle.
I was really wondering because we just saw great pace out of you. You battled Millet for the lead. You and Adam Benefiel were the only ones all day that could bring him a fight. And during that mid-stint, I was like, what's happening here? I know he's got more pace than this, and you were able to bring it back. But then near this end of the race, you battled near the top 5 all day long. Saw you there near the end of the race. You got loose off of turn 4, and Joseph Tucker was right behind you. Talk about the tire wear and having to manage that today throughout this race.
Yeah, that was the name of the game. First couple laps, the car is extremely loose, and that made for an exciting end of it because we just couldn't get any temp in it, and it's like you're on ice out there. Late, kind of middle, late in the run, it starts feeling pretty snug. You could start feeling the right front kind of come, like not really come, but it just completely went away. And I don't know if that's just how I was driving it, if that's the steering pinion I used, but I tried to kind of start backing up my first couple laps to fix that, and I just kept losing more time, and I wasn't gaining it back. So when we got down to the end with the restarts, I knew I could go all out then, and I had good short run speed, but them cold tires are interesting to say the least.
Well, speaking about restarts, we saw through these last couple of green-white checkers, we saw you lined up behind Benefiel. Obviously you had a bit of a jump with him being the control car. We saw you on that last restart get a great jump. I saw you leading into the box, and you just got such a better jump than Millet there. Talk to me about on those last 2 laps having to hold him off because you, Millet, and Joseph Tucker, see y'all are together all the time on the track. And talk about coming to the line, having to hold off Millet, y'all 3 in a line right there.
I'm not gonna say there's a little bit of collusion going on, but I may have known when he was going, and I used that to my advantage because I needed to clear him going into 1. Otherwise, the exit of 2, I couldn't hold him off. And once I had the lead in front of him, it was pretty much just hold on and hope we don't wreck. And I about lost it in 3 and 4. It may have looked like a bad block, but I was sideways and doing everything I could. And Zach's a heck of a driver, and he didn't bump me, kept it off of me, and he could have very easily probably ended my night there, and I'm glad he didn't. He's a heck of a driver, which y'all saw tonight. He chose great pace and great racecraft, so appreciate that from him.
2 great drivers up front. You finish ahead of Millet to come home second. It's going to be a great points day for you. Congratulations, Dalton.
Appreciate it.
Well, that was Dalton Tucker in the 21 car. Up next will be that 31 of Zach Millet with Andrew.
And Zach Millet is fresh off of a couple of race wins to get the season rolling. 3rd place here, just like those early results. 1st, 2nd, 1st, right after Daytona. So clearly you're keeping things up front here, Zach. What was it like, though, on the racetrack? Do you feel like you could have gotten out at any point in time?
Man, I don't know. It was really hairy on those headers. It was really the first time we had to go, full push on a restart. Those last however many it was. and it was hard to get the power down. And I don't know if it was the second or third, Andrew, that we kind of got away. You know, me and Adam were, you know, I don't know, a little bit out on Dalton and Mike. I don't know. I got a fast lap in there. It was feeling good. I felt like I was getting a little bit, but it would have been tough to pass Adam. I mean, he had really good pace tonight. So I don't know, man.
Going to Iowa next up. How do you feel?
Iowa's gonna be pretty sweet, man. That's definitely a driver's track, and I'm looking forward to see what Connie gives us for a setup. And I don't know. Hopefully, we can go there and we can drift around the high side and make it a fun time.
There you go, Zach Millett, third place, just like that. We've talked to you a lot already this season. I think we're going to talk to you a lot more. Best of luck.
Man, I hope so. Thanks, guys.
Zach Millett, we've talked to him a lot. I think we're going to keep talking to him a whole lot this season. He has been impressive. He's going to stay the points leader after this evening, that's for sure. And I think a lot of Zach Millett is in our future, so get used to car 31 being out front. That will do it for us, though, from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, as always. A big thank you to the SimRat Market partners, simratmarket.com, Apex Racing, IMB Racewear, Moza Racing, RS Button Boxes, Team Conti Sim Performance, Track Bar Media, The Butt Kicker, Extreme Graphics, and Cyber Edge Hosting. And a big thank you to our partners here at the channel, Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, and Cody Williams Design. Next up for us, we head out to USA International Speedway tomorrow night, November 14th, for the Sim Auto Racing Association Pierce Fleet Service Super Series. Yes, it's a mouthful every single time, but we're going racing tomorrow night with super late models at the Lakeland 3/4 mile. Then it's out to Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida for the Sarah 1-8 Racing Media National Tour as we kick off the Fall Brawl next week. Wednesday, November 20th, we head out to Iowa Speedway right in the middle of the Fall Brawl festivities. Going to be a lot of fun for us hitting the high banks of Iowa Speedway. And then next Thursday, it's the Fall Brawl 250. You'll want to tune in for that. Scott, there's plenty of places to watch along and follow everything Pit Stop TV. They're all located at the bottom of the screen.
All located at the bottom of the screen. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and X. You can catch all of our updates, when our races are, what series we do, all on any of those channels. You can catch our lives on any of those, Twitch, YouTube, and all the rest. Glad that y'all were with us tonight. We had a great time. I had a great time, Andrew. This was, I think, a great race from the SimRat Market Series here for Race 5 at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
That it was. Had a lot of fun this evening. A really good race overall, and I think a lot of good things to build off of here going forward for the No Limit Racing Simrat Market Series. Next up, these guys are at Iowa. You do not want to miss it. Until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time. It's been a pleasure, and we'll catch you in the next one.
A new wave has formed for Season 2, an epic tour that ends with a new legacy. The OGs are back, ready to defend their legacy, while fresh meat joins the competition, eager to make their mark. Who is willing to battle door-to-door and conquer 2024? Buckle up, because the season of a lifetime is among us.
Here we go. Who's going to get the better restart? Look at all this action as we come on lap 100.